Welcome to Osseo High School Saturday afternoon football. Instead of our Friday night lights, we have the Centennial Cougars traveling to Osseo for today's game. Cougars sitting at 2-3. The Osseo Orioles sitting at 1-4 on the season after winning the 6A state title last year. I'm Bobbie Ersland, joined by Isaac Rice.
How's it going, Bobbie?
It is going great, Isaac. I'm looking forward to this football game here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Oh, gorgeous day. Gorgeous day. Fantastic day in Minnesota. Thinking it would be a little bit colder today, but right now it's looking like it's going to be a pretty gorgeous day for, like you said, Saturday football. These kids are kind of getting the taste of what it might be to play at that next level.
Yes, that's a very good point. It was a bit brisk this morning, but the sun's come out, the clouds have broken up, and we're in store for a beautiful game of, and what sounds like from both head coaches, a ground and pound type of atmosphere here this afternoon.
Absolutely. Looking forward to calling this game with you here, and here we go.
Short kickoff from the Cougars, fielded at the 22. A nice track down tackle. At the 26-yard line, that's where the Osseo Orioles will start their drive. They're led out onto the field by their starting quarterback, Martellus Hughes. And from the sounds of it, Isaac, I don't know how much throwing Hughes is going to be doing today. They ran the ball 62 times last week, so we'll see how many dropbacks he actually has.
Right. Doesn't seem like there's going to be a lot of that. They run kind of more of a pro set spread offense, but we're going to see a lot of the ground game, run. So we'll see what happens on this first play here.
And Osseo stacked on the line, one wide receiver. And it is a handoff. Tackled immediately in the backfield. Loss of 1 yard on the carry. It's going to be 2nd and 11 for the Orioles.
Get a good look at Centennial's defense there. They run more of a nickel defense, typically a 3-3-5. Really athletic team, and looking good so far.
That's Eagle number 4. Now we might have to flip it, depends on.
Orioles come back to the line again, stacked on the line, a pitch. Running near side, gets around the corner, breaks a tackle, and he's still going. That's Parnell Taylor. He's going to take it to the house for the Orioles. 6-0.
Really exposing Centennial's defense there. Really great blocking up front.
Little laundry on the field. This one might be coming back. We might have gotten a little too excited there.
Yep.
There was some reaction from the Cougars that looked like it might be coming back. Legal block in the back.
That block, that lead block up front. Didn't even think he needed to make that block, but I kind of, the way that he was taken down, it kind of looked like it might have been some type of penalty, and that was indeed what it was. So.
Well, that was Parnell Taylor there on the run. Before we get to him, he actually didn't even start the game at running back for the Orioles today, even though last week he had 250 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns for the Orioles. The starters, along with Hughes, who led him out onto the field, Aaron Jupal and Jeff Ekior in the backfield. Split out wide are Julian Caven and Carmen Harmon, with Wendell Smith at the tight end position for the Orioles. And up front, interesting from Coach Ryan Stockhouse, they mixed up their offensive line last week. It was a brand new, they moved some guards to tackles to guards and brought some defensive players over, as we see a nice run here from the Orioles picking up the first down.
Really solid play. I saw they kind of did a fake to Taylor there, a little play action. An interesting thing to follow up with Taylor is that he's actually a safety for this team, but they kind of converted him to running back. And like you said, last week he had a fantastic game. And what Coach was saying is that they kind of seem like they play off of kind of his intensity at running back. They just seem to kind of get out there and block a little bit harder, and just overall it's interesting to see this Taylor get a chance at running back.
Yeah, you see a lot of two-way players in high school football, but it was interesting hearing Coach Stockhouse mention that they just pulled him a couple weeks ago and said, let's start teaching you the offense. A deep toss here. Ooh. Nice pass from Martellus Hughes, dropping the dime.
Karen Harmon, fantastic over-the-shoulder catch for the touchdown for the Orioles here on senior night, as I understand it, correct?
Yeah, yep. We big contingency here for the Orioles. That was a beautiful pass by Martellus Hughes, and of course, it's making me eat my words right off the bat, mentioning that we weren't going to have much throwing, and there we go. They drop back, and Hughes just puts it right in the bread basket for Harmon.
Hughes to Harmon, senior to senior. You know, I imagine that's probably happened quite a bit here in the last couple of years, and they're making the fans have something to cheer for here. So.
Yeah, the Orioles, minute 45 into the game, putting the touchdown on the board to take an early 7-0 lead. And it's interesting, Isaac, we talk about the fact that they just dropped back and passed. Both Coach Stockhouse and Coach Mike Diggins for the Centennial Cougars were telling us before the game, both of them, almost an identical statement, saying, we're going to run the ball a lot, they're probably going to run the ball a lot, so this is going to be a pretty quick game today. And then here we go. You did see that huge run from Taylor gets called back, and then we have a passing play that leads us to our first score of the game.
Right, and maybe that's a little bit of trickery there. They're, you know, they indicate to us, they may indicate to the other team, or just from what you see on film, oh, they must run a lot, and then, you know, they must have just saw something in Centennial's defense that they wanted to try expose there, and they did right up the middle. Harmon touchdown. So.
That's a very interesting take, because you think about it, if both teams are coming into this thinking, hey, it's going to be a ground and pound game, that could be the area where if you can connect on a few passes, it really is going to open up your play calling. And then, you know, I'm assuming both teams are keying in on the run, but as soon as these teams, we'll see if the Cougars can do the same, start completing some passes, the whole landscape of the game could change.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll see how Centennial responds here on offense, if they also see if they can get out there and pass. But we'll get to that when we get to their first play.
Bit of a squib kick, almost a squib / onside kick. The whistle right away, though. There was some laundry on the field.
Take the ball.
Thinking maybe maybe some Osseo players may have kind of got a little bit ahead of the ball before the
could
kick.
Potentially be an offsides call here by the referee.
So I think the ball went the 10 yards that it needs to go for sure. And they made the call before.
Yeah, it sounded like the whistle was immediate. Referees figuring out what they're going to do with the football here.
It looks like one of the coaches.
Coach Diggins is out on the field asking the referee for an explanation of what we got going on here. So we'll reset Orioles to kick off. I got to believe they're going to be kicking it as deep as the kicker can make it after tipping their hand there on the first attempt.
Correct. Oh, no, they go back to a bit of a squib kick, and Centennial almost made it a little interesting by almost not recovering that, Bobbie.
Yeah, the ball was those are always tricky. The ball's bouncing at you. You think of your quote unquote hands team being on the field in those situations, and Centennial just has their regular kick return team out on the field. But luckily, able to cover it up, and they're going to start out here at their own 40. Great field position, and they're led out onto the field today by Ryan Koob. Junior quarterback Kyle Norby is hurt, and he is out this week. So we'll see what Koob is able to do as he hands the ball off. Nice 5-yard carry there by Treadle.
Fantastic start to the game, and looks like Centennial's going with the game plan. Run. And we'll see if the run game can open up the passing game like it seemed to do with Osseo on our first drive there.
Joining Treadle in the backfield today is Wyatt Shephoister. Out wide, Keyshawn Story and Alex Facon. Tight end Jake McCourtney. Left tackle up front, Ben Smith, along with Mitch Flush and Michael Jenrick. Peyton Grieve and David Dolney.
We're about too short. Hey, I want to go.
And we're getting a good look at Centennial's offense. They run what looks like a wing T offense to most people, but as we heard from Coach Diggins, that is not the case. That is they run more of a Well, he didn't really give it a name of a formation, but they run most of their plays from this formation of what looks like a wing tee, but it's more of a modified wing tee, I guess, in a sense.
Well, he was mentioning to us, before the game that they run the same plays, but they like to mix up the formation looks, trying to expose the defense and get them set up incorrectly. Koob with the swing pass.
We got it.
Nice play there. That's to Keyshawn Story.
21.
Quick
Story.
pass,
Doubles.
first down for the
21 is
Cougars.
pass.
Yeah, absolutely. Story looking just as good as he has over the years, and it was a nice pass. You know, we kind of saw the same type of formation we've seen first play there, and like I said, looks like they're kind of
2-1.
using their run game to open up their pass game.
Cougars come to the line here,
Yeah.
1st and 10 at the Orioles 45-yard line. Incomplete pass, little low there.
All right, let's go Eagle package. Eagle 11.
Looking for Shane Talene.
Jet.
Pass was a little low.
Yeah,
8:42 here to go, 2nd and 10
It
for
was
the
wide
Centennial
open.
Cougars.
could be a little bit of the jitters from our, in a sense, rookie
right.
quarterback coming into the game here.
Yep.
Koob lined up under center, put Story in motion. He's going to hand the rock to Story. Story able to pick up about
Hey, I
5
want to go
yards
Eagle
there.
19, but
3rd
flip
and
it.
5
Flip Eagle 19.
for the Cougars.
Some good blocking up front there. That's one thing I noticed. Looked like a couple of the guards kind of did a
Correct.
pull there on that end around and ended up with a pretty solid
Trap
run. We'll
left.
see if they can do
Trap
this or make this 3rd down attempt here.
3rd and short.
3rd and 3, excuse me. I was thinking it was 3rd and 5. Koob hands it off straight up the middle.
You want to do 19?
Riley
Seattle,
Treadle
okay?
with the carry. He's picking up the
okay,
first
so-
down and moving the chains again for the Cougars.
So trips.
Shades of a
Trips
young
left.
Isaac Rice
Trips
there.
left.
In my high school playing days, I played
19
played a little
Seattle.
fullback every now and again, and right up the middle was a typical play I did because you know what? It was really easy, it was effective, and I was a big guy. So
Little fullback dive action.
it
I
usually
like
worked
it.
pretty well.
I like it. In the shotgun here, Koob takes the snap, rolls out to his left, pass,
Did he drop it?
Is
and his
Hey,
incomplete
let's go.
pass
Iowa.
here.
Iowa, number 8.
Looking for Lucas
Iowa,
McGregor.
8.
Lucas
Iowa, 8.
McGregor here this year. That was a shorter route, but he's averaging 19
maybe
yards
we
per
should
catch, so
try
he's
to
a
power.
bit more of a deep threat, if you will,
Power
for the
right.
Centennial Cougars. On that play, unable to corral the pass. Not a bad pass from Koob there on the rollout.
Right.
Not at all, not at all. But his first couple of attempts have gone a little bit more than 4 or 5 yards.
Don't wait for
Have
them.
been a little bit off target, so we'll see if they continue to go for that attack.
Handoff here to Treadle. Off the right guard
I
there.
wanna
He
go,
plunges ahead for a gain of a few.
Okay, what number?
Just about 8 minutes to go here in the first quarter. We're going to be looking at a
Buckeye 4.
3rd and about 6 or 7 here for the Cougars. Driving deep into the Orioles zone, looking to even up the score. 3rd and 6 is the official call here.
We'll see what Centennial runs here. They've had a really good mix of pass and run here, so
Get out there.
maybe look pass here. Oh.
Very nice play there from the Cougars.
Okay.
Little play
Hey,
action.
I want to go Eagle 11.
from
Eagle,
Koob.
Eagle 11.
Sold it well. Nice pass there to Shep Oyster. He's able to pick up the first down and move the chains here for the Cougars.
Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but that seems to be the
jet
game
right
plan.
this time.
Centennial is a
Let
lot
him
of
wide,
run.
wide.
I'd
Double,
look run here, but a lot of run to set up that pass game, and it's working pretty effective. They've had a solid drive here, moving the chains.
Yeah, they've been able to mix and match.
What
We
happened
have a
there?
whistle here.
Yeah, that jumped.
Looking like
Referee going to call offsides on
Yeah,
the
same
Orioles. Going to be 1st and 5 here for the Cougars. This opens up your playbook right here,
oh
Isaac.
yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. 1st and 5. I mean, this is almost a coach's dream.
Story in motion. He gets the handoff. Cuts it back up.
Outside.
He's gonna
Let's
pick
go
up a
Iowa.
couple
Let's go
here.
Number 5.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem
It's
like
counter. Right.
Osceo's Osceo's defense has had a couple of stops here, but Centennial just keeps on driving, and a couple here, a couple there, and then a big play here, big play
Yep.
there. Centennial setting themselves up for tying this game.
Just crossed the
Let's go
7-minute
ISO
mark
next.
here of the first quarter. 2nd and 2 for the Centennial Cougars. lined up in the eye, handoff to Treadle. He takes it up the middle, breaking tackles.
Iowa number
and
10.
who would have
Iowa
guessed Riley Treadle picking up another first down for the Centennial Cougars here on their first drive of the game.
Yeah, is this Treadle kid new? I just don't
Pro left,
I don't understand, Bobbie. I'm obviously kidding, but yeah, he's having himself quite the game so far, and you know we'll continue to monitor his progress and see if Osceo's defense can adjust.
First and goal on the 7. Treadle straight up the gut, and he's going to be in for the touchdown for the Centennial Cougars. So they answer with a bit more ground game than the Orioles there on their first drive. But either way, same result, and we'll see if they can knot it up here with the extra point.
Absolutely. Looks like Coach Diggins is pretty excited with the way that worked out. He gave a little handshake to each and every offensive player coming off the field.
Hey,
and,
Jay, would you tell Steve to
it's
tell
looking like
Mitch
Osceo's
he's gotta
defense
get
just
a
can't
little more
handle
depth on his
Centennial's
waggle
ground
ball.
attack so far.
Okay.
Cougars lining up here
It did,
for the extra
sure.
point. And it is through the uprights and good. So we're locked up here with 6:31 left to go in the first quarter. The Cougars on the road answer the home Orioles to knock the game up 7-7. And it's interesting, Isaac, you were just talking there about Coach Diggins looking very pleased on the sideline. He was telling us before the game they just need to find that consistency on the offensive side of the ball. You know what? They had obviously they ran the ball very well on that first drive. Few passing plays that ended up working out. We'll see as Koob is able to continue throughout this game, like we mentioned, first start of the year. We'll see what he can do as this game progresses.
Absolutely. Like I said, it looked like a few of those plays that were a little bit longer than kind of the screen type of passes he was having a little bit of trouble with, but it's not like the ball was completely off target. It was just, I feel like just that first drive jitters of not getting as much action as Norby. He's just trying to settle in, and like you said, Centennial's offense is in a sense still trying to find that identity and consistency in play, and that drive, I know if I was Coach Diggins, I would be pretty pleased with how everything went down there overall. And again, Osceo's just going to have to figure out a way to adjust and, make it so Centennial doesn't have as much opportunity to score that easily next drive.
Yeah, both defenses are going to be looking here to, come out second go around and see if they can stifle the offense. As the Cougars, another whistle on the kickoff.
Maybe has to be an offside again. Flags right at the 45-yard line there. We'll see what the call is. Yep, offsides, kicking team.
So we'll march it back 5 yards, and we'll try that again.
Yeah, I mean, early in the game, both teams are excited to just get downfield and make those big plays. That very well could be why these guys are going offside. They just got to make sure that, they listen to special teams coach and play the way that they should.
Well, and every yard is going to be valuable today. If anything, if the first offensive possession for these two teams says anything, field position is going to be key. Nice return here for the Orioles. And that's Parnell Taylor yet again making plays for this Osseo Orioles squad.
Taylor continues to impress. I'm not entirely sure, unfortunately, if obviously he's kind of getting his first looks at running back here, but I don't know if, he's been on special teams, kick return, stuff like that is why he ended up being a running back for this team. But that play really looked like it wouldn't be anything. He ran into a wall of a lot of different guys and just bounced outside and made a solid play there.
Yeah, a few cuts, got around the outside, and the Orioles start this possession in Centennial territory on the 49-yard line. High snap, corralled by Hughes, hands it off to Taylor, and Taylor able to slip through some tackles, and he is just plowing forward, bringing a few Centennial Cougar defenders with him.
It's
going to be a gain of 13 yards and a first down for the Osseo Orioles.
Really, really strong run by Taylor there. Again, he went right into Centennial's defense. I'm like, okay, he's done. And he just kept driving and driving. I mean, just kept those legs moving, run low, simple things that, that running backs are taught, but for a guy that's, more of a defensive guy, he's really impressing so far today.
Shotgun formation again for the Orioles. Hughes sets his receiver in motion. Hands the ball off. It's going to be a gain of 6 or 7 here for the Orioles.
A little trickery to Harmon there, and seemed to throw off Centennial enough to, give the Orioles a few yards. Here with 5:42 left in the first quarter, 7-7.
Looked like that was Aaron Jupal there on the carry for the Orioles.
So we're averaging 6 yards on Polo, trap. Okay, yes.
Shotgun formation again for the Orioles.
Watch the DMs for me.
Nice play there by the Cougars defense to sniff that out. Hughes set Harmon in motion. Looked very similar to the last play when they ran that counter to the running back. However, a little swing pass out to Harmon, and the Cougars able to sniff that out.
Still continue to run that kind of spread offense, one running back, and didn't fool Centennial for a minute. That defense was right on top of things.
Watch for zeros.
Coach Stockhouse was telling us that in the pregame. He was going to be mixing and matching some pro set along with some spread offense, that we would see a little bit of both throughout today's game.
Hey.
And we're going to be lined up here in the spread. We got 5 wide receivers here for Hughes. Sets Taylor in motion, fakes the handoff, and he is stuffed. He loses a shoe, and he is stuffed in the backfield. Great play there by the Cougars. DJ Love, big number 99 in the middle, right there to help out.
That's my guy. It's not about me, but that was my position when I played high school football. A little D tackle, big guy in the middle. So, it wasn't just DJ Love there. Again, really good thing with high school football or any level of football, gang tackling. Got to get in with gang tackling.
Quarterback toss.
It's a really good team effort to bring them down there and force that loss of yardage there.
Okay, rather than zeros. Okay.
4th down and 11, and the Orioles are going to come to the line, and they are going to go for it.
Yep, okay. Yep, good suggestion.
Hughes dropping back, pressure from the Cougars.
That's a punt. Knock it down! Why don't you knock it down?
And that's going to be intercepted by the Cougars.
Eagle 14.
And it looked like Hughes was knocked down the backfield there on that pass. He got up pretty quick.
Double tight.
Kind of overhearing the Centennial coaching staff. They probably would have done better if they would have knocked that down, because now they're within their own 8-yard line. Could be a little bit difficult, but if they can make another drive here, we'll see.
Yeah, essentially that's a punt for the Osseo Orioles. Cougars starting out this drive with 3 minutes and 46 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Handoff, a little sweep. I believe that was Story yet again.
I want Eagle, ISO right.
Nice pickup there on first down for the Cougars.
Absolutely, getting away from trying to get it with out of their own 20 there. 3:23 left in the first quarter.
We weren't in tight.
2nd and 2 here for the Cougars.
Well, whoever's on the far side.
Looked like Coop was going to come up under center, but he's going to sit back in shotgun to take the snap. And that was just a quarterback sneak right from the get-go. Sniffed out by the Orioles, taken down in the backfield.
So we got
no gain, maybe a loss of a half a yard or so. We're probably going to be sitting at 3rd and 2 here with just under 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
Bit of a high snap there, too. I'm impressed that he can handle it. It wasn't super high, but it was high enough that, again, with a younger quarterback, that can be a little worrisome for a coach. Might make his heart skip a beat there.
3rd and 2, Cougars. Play action, Coop rolling out. Nice pass. Broken tackle.
A little laundry on the field, though. We'll see
down.
I feel like I saw
deep
maybe
in the
some
secondary here.
Yeah,
so
I feel like I might have saw some offensive holding.
Okay, Greg, for 3rd and long, what do you want to do
possibly, I don't want to make a call on the number, but I was paying attention to another guy, and I feel like that other guy was why that play was able
holding
to be
on
made.
the defense is the call. It is declined, and we'll have a first down for the Cougars.
I was mistaken. It was holding.
Shep Hoister there on the reception from Coop. Cougs looked good on those rollouts, play action. He was under some duress there, but he's able to come around and make the nice play. It was a little high.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little high to Shephoister.
Even tighter.
Story gets the handoff on the sweep, and he's looking for daylight around the corner. Great run.
Let's
Great
flip that
run
play.
by Story.
Continues to impress. Again, the blocking, though, up front. If we ask him after the game, it's a cliche thing in some of these sports. Oh, well, why were you able to have so many solid runs, 20, 30 yards here and there? Well, my offensive
Did he
line.
really?
But it's true.
I missed that.
That was one thing that I kind of
that's
keyed
where
on,
they
being
come
a
with
bigger
trap.
guy myself and being from a line standpoint, looked like some good blocking up front, good pulls, and we have a flag here, Bobbie.
Both the head referee,
All right, let's go trap.
we're going to have
Eagle.
a false start here on the Cougars.
Screen.
Back them up 5 yards.
Where is the screen?
Going to have a
at
first
here?
and 15 with just over
Get
2
it
minutes
in,
left to go
Go ahead,
in the
go ahead.
first quarter. And speaking of their blocking, Isaac, Coach Diggins was telling us his entire offensive line is juniors.
11
So,
Correct.
11.
Cougars sitting at 2-3 this year. He was talking about they need to get more consistent, but when you have a line full of juniors starting every game they have together is going to help them become more of a cohesive unit.
Absolutely.
Coop with the play action.
Looks like some more laundry on the field. And as we're speaking about that Centennial offensive line, I'm feeling like I'm feeling like it may or may not be holding on Centennial. Some of that inexperience on the line for Centennial may have shown there.
Trap right. Out of Eagle, yes.
Coach Stockhouse was asking the near side referee for some information. He decides to accept the penalty.
We didn't have that first drive.
So we're going to
We are.
be looking at, I believe, first and 25 here for the Cougars, and they've put themselves into a bit of a bind back on their own side of the field. Quick handoff there to Treadle. He's able to sneak ahead for a gain of a few. Up to midfield. Cougars got a long way to go here. 2nd and 22. Approaching a minute and a half to go here in the first quarter. They got to get all the way down to the Osseo 28 in order to get a first down. And when you're talking about a team that likes to run the football, we've seen Coug do an okay job so far today throwing, but it's a tall task for a squad like the Cougars here.
Absolutely.
Very high snap. Coug's able to corral. He goes deep. Nice pass down the field. That's Lucas McGregor. We talked about him earlier. He's averaging 19 yards per catch. Well, that's going to help his average because the Cougars are down to the Orioles' 13-yard line. 37-yard connection from Coug to McGregor. Big play for the Cougars.
That play was probably set up, obviously, but probably set up from that high snap. As soon as that high snap happened, Osseo was like, oh, we got to go after the quarterback. Left McGregor open right there on the left side. I wasn't even looking at him after that high snap. I was focused on the quarterback.
Hand off to Treadle.
There we go.
Wide open up the middle, and he takes it to the house for 6 for the Cougars. His second touchdown rushing today. First one from 7 yards out, this one from 13 yards out. And the Cougars doing a great job of converting on their opportunities deep in the Orioles' red zone.
Huge drive for Centennial.
Yeah, had some ups and downs there as they line up here for the extra point.
Yeah, that's on.
Snap, hold is down, and the kick is good.
A couple of big plays there. Unfortunately, a few penalties, and 2nd and 22 there. I'm thinking Centennial's done. There's almost no way that they can get out of a hole like this, especially being more of a running team. One big play by McGregor sets up that touchdown by Treadle. 14-7 here with 1:17 left. Centennial's looking really, really good right now, Bobbie.
Yeah, Coop, you know, we were talking a little bit before the game. Their first 4 games this year, he would spell Nordby here and there, and he went 13 of 14 throwing the football. Now, Coach Diggins was saying last week they struggled throwing the football. If I recall correctly, he was mentioning that they had about a 25% completion percentage last week against Andover. And, you know, they had a 3-0 lead at half against the Huskies, and the Huskies came out and took care of business after halftime. But Coop is looking good. He is looking good. He's had a couple throws early, but since then maybe shaking off the nerves, and he's come out and had a very nice first quarter here for the Cougars.
That he has. Every time he makes a bit of a mistake or something along those lines, I kind of start to doubt him, and then he makes some of those big plays and just settles down. Even beyond big plays, he just looks like he's been doing this for years.
Let's come out in Eagle then.
Little squib kick here from the Cougars, trying to keep it away from Purnell Taylor, I would expect. Fielded at the 20-yard line, and we're going to have a flag here. A lot of flags in the early going here, Isaac. I would have to imagine, just based on where the flag was thrown, we're going to have a holding or a block in the back call here against the Orioles.
I would have to agree.
Legal block in the back.
That's exactly what it was.
That's going to set the Orioles back a bit there in their own end zone. They'll be starting this drive at their own 13-yard line.
Right around where Centennial started their last drive, and you saw how that worked out for them. So we'll see if Osseo can put together a solid drive here as well.
Just over a minute left to go here in the first quarter. Orioles have the ball at their own 13-yard line. Hughes in the shotgun. And the Cougars jumped off sides.
That is what I'm thinking as well.
Luke Chewell, number 56 there. Got a little too excited, a little too hungry. And he'll give the Orioles here 5 yards, 1st and 5. And like we said before, 1st and 5, that's a nice position to be in as an offense. Really opens up the playbook.
Most definitely. Stockhouse is probably salivating at the mouth right now, just thinking of what he can do here. So we'll see what type of play they can put together. Maybe a little trickery, possibly. I mean, it's a situation. Why not?
Monday and Wednesday. No, right.
Hughes hands the ball off.
There we go. Nice fits.
And the Cougars do a nice job of tracking that one down in the backfield. No gain. And that was Jeff Ekior on the carry for the Orioles.
Almost looked like Hughes wanted to pull that ball back, but at that point, you just kind of have to commit, unfortunately. And he probably saw the defense was going to make that play, but at least it did not go for any type of loss. As a matter of fact, they did lose one there, didn't they?
2nd and 6 here for the Orioles. An interesting set here in the back. Hughes surrounded by 3 running backs. And we have a whistle. No surprise to anybody if you've been watching this first quarter.
The doubles. Okay. I missed
We're approaching double-digit flags pretty quickly.
And I'm not entirely sure why that is. I know a lot of these kids are used to playing at night. I'm not trying to overanalyze why we may be having too much laundry on the field here, but
they're yelling jet.
Just changing up your routine can do a lot of things. I know these kids are only in high school, but I know playing different nights and kind of doing different things can kind of mess with you a little bit.
Most definitely. So 2nd and 11 in here with 15 seconds left. Hand off to Taylor. And Weird, breaks the first tackler, but the Cougars are able to swarm. Gang tackle, as you were talking before, Isaac. And that's probably going to do it here for us in the first quarter.
Eagle 15.
And the Cougars are going to take a 14-7 lead into the second quarter. We'll switch sides, get going again. What, Isaac here, after 1 quarter of play, what have you liked so far from both of these squads?
Hey, I really like how Centennial just continues to surprise me. They have all this way to go on all these drives, yet they just find a way to put it together between their running game, setting up that passing game, and just making their way downfield little by little. A couple penalties here and there, but they've overcome those. And on the Osseo side,
Get Iowa in there, but
you know, they're kind of doing a lot of the same type of stuff.
Okay, so
as
the
far as their
second play
offense
will go
goes,
Iowa.
some things have
You
worked,
want
some
cheater
things haven't. I'm
toss.
really impressed by
I think
Taylor.
cheater.
He continues to impress me on both special teams, as well as on the offensive side of the ball. And we'll see what he continues to do. See if Hughes can put some things together here for Osseo. And
let's go with G.
yeah, that's kind of my take on the first quarter there for the most part.
Yeah, I think I would agree with your
That'll be a
takes.
second
You
play
seem
there.
to be a well-minded man sitting to my right here today. I like that. Helps me out.
Say that again,
That's a
Jay?
good thing.
Well, you know,
Oh.
odd fact that I'll share with the viewers. First
On the
time I've
toss.
called a game. You know,
Well.
I've been doing high school football and a little professional football here for a number of years on the technical side
we
of
haven't
things. You
practiced
know,
it. That'd be my
but getting the opportunity to call a game here, this is really exciting. Not
did?
being in front of or behind a switcher, a production switcher, or next to somebody with a production switcher. So this is really really good time.
So do that.
Well, I'm happy to be here with you today, Isaac. We're going to get the second quarter underway here. Orioles come to the line. Hughes is going to be under center. 3rd and 7 from their own 15. This would be a big stop for the Cougars. Hughes, play action, drops back. He heaves it deep. And just a little too far for Harmon. He was looking
we're
to
gonna get
connect
called.
again.
You know, and it looked like a little movement on the Osseo line there, so I'm surprised with all the penalties
So
we've
we're gonna
had
go- we're gonna go
early
jet
that
trap
they didn't
first.
call that. I mean,
On
it
the
looked
doubles.
like, I
That's
want to say the
number-
left guard was kind of
that's
moving there a
number
little bit before the play, but
15.
didn't really make a difference, and that sets up a punt by Osseo here.
Yeah, it did
Then
look
you
a
wanna
little
do it-
strange. I'm in agreement with you. I
Okay,
was
then
I was
you have it
waiting
set
to
up
hear
for
a whistle,
Keyshawn?
and when no whistle came,
Okay,
I
all right.
started thinking to myself, maybe the referees are looking to turn
Okay,
over a new
all right.
leaf here as we start the second quarter, and maybe try and keep the yellow in their pants pocket.
We're gonna
A
get
very short punt, very short
Peter,
punt.
Peter.
It's going to take an Osseo roll.
Centennial with calling the poison there as
Yep, Eagle.
most teams refer
Eagle,
to
Eagle.
it too
Eagle
as, you know,
15.
don't touch the ball, let
Yep,
it go. Let
exactly.
it go, and took that Osseo roll there.
Eagle 15.
Turned a pretty,
Eagle 15,
well,
jet trap
pretty
right.
bad punt into
Double tight, jet trap right.
not as bad. Although Centennial still is on their own side of the field, so we'll see what they can put together here on
Yeah,
offense.
Yep, and
after
we're
it's
gonna go
all
Iowa
said and
20.
done, only well, let's see, they were at their own 15. It's at the 47, so only a 32-yard punt. The Cougars here are big benefactors with great field position to start in
they're staying in
the
that
Orioles
3-3.
territory. Story in motion, but the quick handoff
That's good. Hey, let's
comes
do
from
it.
the
Iowa
backfield, and that was Treadle.
I really like that play too because they timed it perfectly. Story in motion
Yeah.
there, but quick handoff to Treadle, fooled the defense just enough to
Yep.
gain some yards there. So really, really good play call by Coach
20. Hey, 5 yards on
Diggins
jet
there.
trap. Jet
So.
trap. That's all right.
Coop will take the handoff, hands it to Treadle
Is
again.
it a first down?
Excuse me, he'll take the snap and hand it off to
Short.
Treadle.
Short.
And
You
just a
wanna
little
shake-
bit
you wanna
short
take
of
a
the
shot?
first down. So it's going to be 3rd and short here with 11 minutes left to go
Iowa
in the second
power.
quarter.
Iowa left, power right.
I imagine Centennial with their run game as well as the situation almost has to be run here. Osseo's thinking the same thing. Might have to go right up the gut here, is what I'm thinking. Osseo stacks the line.
Yep, correct.
And they're going to pick up the first down.
You want to take
Easily
the hits
right
Treadle
around
moving
right.
those chains
here? Okay,
again
all right. Iowa,
down to the
number
32-yard line of
Iowa
the
10.
Orioles. The refs will move those chains,
ISO left.
and the Cougars get a fresh set of downs. Very methodical right now for the Cougars. Coob doing a nice job commanding the
Right.
offense. This drive, it's pretty easy on him. He's just turning around and handing it off to Treadle, letting Treadle do the work, bouncing off tacklers. He's going to pick up 6
go
yards
Eagle
there for
Polo
the
again.
Cougars.
I still look at the Osseo defensive line there just to kind of get a look at what they're doing
Let's
with the
do
way
that.
that
Let's
Centennial's
do,
running the ball. I'm like, well, what's going
number
on here?
4.
Why is Osseo allowing this to happen?
Flip-
They had some
flip
pretty
floor.
good penetration there,
Flip.
as a matter of fact, but Centennial's offensive line just picked that up and allowed for that run to happen.
Speaking of the O-line, keep your eye there on number 65, the right tackle, David Dolney. He came up a little gimp after that last run.
Oh, we're good.
We'll have to see. What he's able to do.
You got what?
Yeah,
Hand off there to Treadle.
And now that you mention that, I saw as he
Let's
was
go
getting
Wagon.
down into his stance, he didn't seem like he was having a very good time.
Toss?
He was
No.
still moving there, and even on that particular play,
Eagle toss left.
it kind of almost looked like he was going 3/4 speed like he would in practice. So that might be something to look to with Centennial's run game as well as their pass game if he can't continue on at 100% here.
3rd down and 5 to go. 9 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the second
Oh my
quarter.
God, it should be there. It was right.
Pitch to Treadle. He bounces it outside. He's got the first down and more. Lowers the boom on the Osseo defender. And would you know it, Isaac?
Let's come back with trap.
Riley Treadle picking up another first
Right.
down for the
Yep.
Centennial Cougars.
Trap left.
Odd, really odd. You know, and the thing that I'm really impressed with by him is just even that last run. It seemed like he had a lot of patience. Almost wanted to go right through that A gap. Noticed it wasn't there. Bounced it outside and solid pickup.
Cougars at the Orioles'
Oh my God.
17-yard line. First down, snap.
Ah.
Up the gut there from Treadle.
Yep.
3-yard
Go
run
trips right, toss right.
from Treadle. The Cougars doing a lot of
right,
motioning
right,
with Story.
right.
They're making it appear as though they're going to hand it off on that jet sweep, keeping the Orioles guessing. Got a whistle here and a timeout from the Centennial Cougars.
All right.
Well, now that we got a timeout, I guess I'll kind of go through some of the notes
They're
that
blitzing a
I
little bit on us.
was going to save, but
Hey, Diggs.
you know, we're looking here at Osseo defending 6A state championship.
Yeah, I do. What do you
One of
think
the better
about that
football
coming
games
down
I've
to
ever
Ron? What do you
seen
get on Ron the
was a
first
game
half?
that they played leading up to the state championship. They played Totino Grace down, I can't recall the score, but
they're blitzing.
point being they scored, made the game 21-20. And
Hey,
former coach
yeah.
for Osseo, who's now the AD
Eagle
at
7?
Edina,
Yes.
two-point
You gotta
conversion.
flip it.
You know,
No.
Why would you do that?
No, we're good.
You know,
It's good. My fault.
21-20. But he decides, you know what? This consensus state championship goes for 2. They convert. Amazing
You
game
can,
against Totino. Speaking of Totino, saw Totino last night against Champlain Park. They're looking really strong here in the 6A. And, you know, Centennial's got them here their next game. And I don't know. Totino may make a run here.
Yep.
What do you think, Bobbie?
Yeah, we had them last week against Blaine at Bengal Stadium, and the Bengals hung tough without KJ Downey, but in the end, the Eagles were just too much for the Bengals. As we get back underway here, Koob takes the snap. He runs out to the right-hand side.
Oh, I'm thinking
He's OB.
that
Okay.
might be, well, you
Koob
know, you
was a couple
right.
steps out of bounds
Let's go,
there.
let's go.
It might have looked a little
Let's go,
more,
double tight.
you know, a little more harmful than it really was.
right.
14
Nonetheless,
flip.
we're going to have a third down coming up here for the Cougars. Third and what appears to be about 6 yards to gain at the Orioles' 16-yard line with just under 8.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
Oh, God, yes. We got to remember.
Koob brings the boys up to the line under center.
Yeah.
Sets Story in motion. He's going to hand it off to Story. He's going to bring it. He cuts it back inside, and he's going to come up a couple
Freeze,
yards
freeze.
shy of the first down. So this is where it comes into play. Do you have a field goal kicker that you can rely upon,
freeze.
or do you just send out the big boys and take a shot at 4th and 2? You don't take. If you don't make it, you're giving the Orioles the ball at their own 10-yard line. Outside of the first drive of the game today, the Cougars played very good defense. So this is I like the risk here by Coach Diggins.
Absolutely. We'll see at Osceo's defense if they can make it happen here or not.
Koob under center. We're going to have a timeout taken here by the Cougars.
Probably a good idea. They saw a good look at what Osseo lines up for fourth
do you
down
like?
situation. More than likely they'll change it up, but if nothing else, that very well could be it. They see what they're going to do.
You talking about Arkansas?
And,
No,
they
no,
could
no,
just
no.
change it up and go for that
You're,
field goal
you're
now,
talking
just
about
to
the
kinda
number 3 under
keep
Buckeye
Osseo on their
bunch
toes there.
Left
Bobbie.
over 85 toss pass.
Yeah, we'll see what Coach Diggins decides to do here.
Yeah, it's toss pass.
You just don't see a ton of great field goal kicking, but they're at their own 10-yard line, so you're looking at a 26, 27-yard field goal attempt, which isn't outrageous.
I like that
But
suggestion.
like I said before, the way the Cougars have been playing defense, I would expect the offense is going to come out here and just try and smash mouth it, gain the 2 yards, and if they don't, they'll tip their cap to the Orioles defense and say, okay, come back out here and try and beat our defense.
Correct. But like you said, the way that Story and Treadle have been running this game,
What did you go with here, Diggs?
I don't see why not. 4 from 2 or 4 for 4 rather. This late in the year, might as well.
Student section making some noise. The Orioles bench wanting some noise.
There we go.
Got an orange out here tonight as well. So.
Coob with the pitch. Looks like a little trickery. Story, and he's going to throw an interception. And the Orioles are, wow, big turn of events there.
Valencia on the pick there. Appears.
No, Tyler Seelock. That's all right there, number 21. And Story, that ball was just too flat. If he would have gotten a little arc under it, he would have been able to potentially secure a touchdown there for the Cougars, but it was too flat, and the Orioles end up making out like bandits here. They get the ball out to the 30. I don't even think they have the ball set yet.
No, it doesn't appear to be. And the thing is, on that play, you kind of heard me on the call say, ooh, it was just so impressive, that play. You don't see that type of trickery in high school all that often, so I was really impressed by the way that was. And you had the guy right there. He's just probably a little too excited. The guy was too open, and like you said, just didn't get enough arc on that ball, and Orioles ball.
Just underthrew it.
So they'll set the ball here at the Orioles 32-yard line. That's where they will start this drive with 7:54 left to go here in the first half. Snap handoff here to Taylor, and he's got a lot of room to work. Oh, excuse me, that was not Taylor. That was Martellus Hughes on the keeper. Excuse me, do they have Hughes?
I think
they have Hughes in at running back, and they've brought in Gregory Arell, the junior.
Yeah, I tried to sort that out myself.
I could have swore they handed the ball off, and then I saw it was Hughes.
Right.
Hey.
Yeah, it looks like a little formation here.
A little change up here by the Orioles. Handoff again to Hughes. Short gain there, picked up a few. We'll have 2nd and 7 here at the 49.
As I recall, as is commonplace in high school football, most quarterbacks are right up there in terms of leading and rushing in the high school ranks. But Hughes was, he's pretty up there as well, and just maybe indicates right there that they do a little bit of this of lining him up and running back. So.
Yeah, it's not a bad play, like you were saying. You get these running quarterbacks. Why not stick them back there and see what they can do when you hand the ball off? And there's Arell. He's trying to make something happen. He fumbles, and the Cougars are on top of it.
Here we go.
Cougars are going to get to start at midfield. Big play there for the Centennial Cougars. And that was Sam Orth, linebacker for the Cougars, coming up with the fumble. So Arell comes in on this drive for the Orioles, first action of the game, and a few plays in, he loses the football. And the Cougars starting again in Orioles territory. I believe this is their 3rd possession already today, past the 50-yard line. Orioles got to clean it up. Story on the sweep, and he fumbles.
Looks like.
And we're going right back to the Orioles. Almost like a game of tennis. The back and forth, and that's number 3, Amotoyimbo for the Orioles. He picks up the fumble, and the Orioles will have it here with 6:45 left to go, starting at their own 46.
Ball's a little slippery out there, apparently, Bobbie. I was just about to comment on Orr's play, and Osceo's defense steps up, and
that should be
now I won't say we have a new ball game this early in the game, but
yeah, you're right.
But it's a big swing of momentum. Handoff, Arell to Hughes there again. So it looks like even though Arell fumbled,
from double tight,
the Orioles coaching staff having confidence in him, sending him back out there, letting Hughes run the ball. We'll get Hughes a breather here.
Yeah, that's how it's in here.
Just under 6.5 here in the second quarter.
Yeah, it's number 1.
We'll see how Centennial's defense responds here to having to come back out there.
Orel with the handoff to the up back, plunges ahead on a 2nd and 4 play. He's going to be
Hey,
just
we probably have to throw the ball.
either just shy.
Oh, they gave him the first
White
down.
Hat's going to give him the first down, so that's a first down carry for the Orioles. Fresh set of downs
What's that?
as they move into the Cougars' territory.
Yeah, we do.
Now, forgive me, Bobbie, I don't recall Osseo doing a ton of passing here. It seems like a lot of run game, as we saw earlier, and now, obviously, with Hughes not playing,
They have not gotten out of.
The pitch to Taylor going nowhere. Great job there.
That was going to be the point I was going to make. With Hughes not in at quarterback any longer, you know, it's almost obvious. But yeah, they're just going to run. It's just a matter of what type of run are they going to do, and it seems like Centennial's picked that up, and well, results in a loss for the Orioles there.
Sammy Bird there for the Cougars, able to break that one up, but the Cougars were swarming there. That pitch had nowhere to go from the beginning, and even with Taylor's ability to juke, unable to get himself out of that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a face mask there that they're going to call, and I believe it was on Luke Chewell. He kind of burned right up the field, and he got his hand up in the face mask. So that's gonna help out the Orioles' cause quite a bit after a big play on first down by the Centennial Cougars defense to stuff Taylor. They're gonna get the first down to the 33-yard line of the Cougars here. So new life for the Orioles offense, and kind of what you said before this drive, Isaac. It does change the game. I mean, the Orioles were down a touchdown. We were getting deeper into the first half. They fumbled the ball away, and then the Cougars had a nice opportunity there to make it, maybe milk the clock and give it right back. And here's Orel, drops back to pass. Just a bit too much air under that for Harmon. They are definite. They've taken about 3 shots deep to Harmon. They were successful on the first. The last 2 have not been successful.
Correct. And I apologize, me not, I guess, paying attention to the game as close as I should, or not preparing as well as I should. RL is actually listed at quarterback, so he plays it enough. I just see Hughes back there is so much. I'm not as used to that, I suppose. And well, he shows his arm there a little bit. Unfortunately, wasn't able to connect for the Orioles.
Let's go with that one first.
Maybe they'll go with a pass again here as well.
Well, it's an interesting point, Isaac, as we got 2nd down and 10 here. Orel going to pass it again. Nice throw. Very nice play there. A nice little out route by the Orioles. Orel putting the ball right where it needs to be.
Buckeye number 1.
Orel taking a little bit of a pretty big hit there. But he popped right back up, gets the play,
and that was Harmon again. So Harmon doing a lot of damage here in the passing game for the Orioles. But to finish that thought, Hughes isn't even listed on the Orioles roster as a quarterback. He's listed as a wide receiver. Exactly. So clearly a little mix and match. You got Hughes, an athlete. Put him out there. He can do almost anything for the Orioles. But they bring in Orel. He hands the ball off. Another nice run here for the Orioles.
All right.
It looks like that was Hughes.
That he's coming to.
Indeed it was.
Taylor's going to check back into the game. Hughes is going to come over for a quick breather.
So help me out here. If we run jet,
it looks like we got 2nd down and 1 to go here. We just crossed the 4-minute mark to go here in the second quarter.
Okay.
After that fumble by Orel, he's doing a nice job here leading the Orioles down the field. He'll take the snap, turn, hand it to Taylor. And that'll be enough for the first down. Gain of 3 yards.
We did. Yes, it was.
Turning around and handing it to Taylor, albeit from, with the exception of the play where he got stuffed earlier on this drive, has been a pretty good option for the Oriole quarterbacks today.
He has indeed. And after the cornucopia of turnovers we had there earlier, Osceo's put together a solid drive.
Which would be what?
Orell gives it to the up back. He's going to gain a couple, pushing the pile forward. It appears they marked the ball at the 11-yard line. The scoreboard is a little bit behind here, but I do believe the Orioles have an opportunity to pick up a first down at the 1-yard line if they're able to get down there. So they don't necessarily have to punch it in on this set of 4 downs. But we have 2nd down and 7 to go. Orell, just a little too much air again under that. Looking for Harmon yet again. I can't say we've had any other targets to any other wide receivers. It's been the Harmon show on offense if they're dropping back to pass.
Harmon kind of came out of nowhere on that pass as well, and and he was in the right place, just like you said, a little bit too much air under the ball. They just need to get a little bit more in sync, and that could have been 6 points right there for the Orioles.
Well, and it's interesting. Harmon doesn't appear to be very tall, and running a corner route like that, and the cornerback that's on him is pretty tall. Hand off to Hughes, and he gets stuffed by DJ Love up the middle. He wraps him up, brings him down. Love making a lot of noise in the middle of that defense for the Cougars here today.
Centennial's got to love. He's doing his job, just plugging up that interior line and, looking very well.
So we're looking at 4th down and 6 yards to go here with 2.5 minutes left to go in the first half.
I don't want to run toss down here. Hey,
and the Orioles are going to take a timeout and think about what they want to do here on 4th down.
Minnesota, 2 tights.
Speaking of the Orioles, Isaac, as long as we have another timeout, we've talked about Ryan Stockhouse a little bit. We had an opportunity to talk with him before the game. First year here with the Orioles. Obviously, on the surface, you're as an average spectator, you're going to look at it and go, the Orioles are 1-4. They won the state title last year at 6A. What's going on? Well, you lose a coach that was here in Darren Lamker for 11 years. He resigns, goes to Edina. And Stockhouse, he's got to come in and set the tone that he wants to set for this squad. And if we look back to last year, it's not necessarily comparing apples to apples, but the Orioles started out the year, had a tough September. They turned it on in October, and then they made that run in the state tournament. So, that's the beauty of 6A football now with the 32 teams. Everybody goes into the bracket, and if you can get hot at the right time, you can make a run. And we're seeing a lot of athletes out here for the Orioles today, mixing and matching on the offensive side of the ball. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do down the stretch.
I don't think either team's record indicates what they could be. Honestly, Centennial could be, 4-1 right now. But just a couple unfortunate things have happened as we get back to gameplay.
Oh, wow, what a play. Orell rolling out on 4th down. A tip up front by the Cougars. And honestly, if that ball doesn't get tipped, I don't think it makes it to Harmon, but the deflect ends up helping their case, and Harmon is able to corral the ball in the end zone, put 6 on the board for the Orioles. Big drive for the Orioles here with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the first half. They're an extra point away from knotting this thing at 14.
Well, if we have decent field position, let's come with Buckeye number 1.
And it's up and it's good. So we're knotted at 14 here with 2:20 to go in the first half. Fun game, Isaac.
Absolutely. It appeared that Osseo took a little page out of Centennial's playbook there on that last play. A little roll out, and it ended up working out pretty well for them. And, again, gorgeous Saturday afternoon here. And, fantastic game so far. And as I said earlier, before we got back to gameplay, neither team's record really indicates really what they are. I know that sounds kind of weird, and any team could say that. Any team could say something along those lines. But you really look a little bit more in depth in the games that these teams have played, and they've been right there on some of these games. And getting back to Stockhouse, like you said, he's kind of trying to, find his own identity. I believe this is his first head coaching job. He's kind of got more of a defensive background with Holy Angels as well as some of the other teams he's been with. Yeah. But, he's got things looking solid. And, again, I'd just like to say before we get back to gameplay, this new 32-team bracket they have in 6A is fantastic. I really, really hope down the road that college adopts something like that, because it gives everybody a chance to, make that run, that miracle run of, winning a state championship, and that's exactly what happened for Osseo last year. And
it adds a lot more flavor.
really
Just a
does.
lot more flavor. So we'll see if the Cougars can come out here and, well, obviously secure the kickoff first, as we've had a lot of back and forth and odd things going on today. But, assuming the Cougars have possession here, we'll see if they can march down the field in just over 2 minutes and maybe put some more points on the board just before half. The kick is off. Story's going to take it back at the 10-yard line for the Cougars. He's going to come up. He goes straight up the seam. He's going to get it out to the 30-yard line.
And we got it.
Are they going to call that a fumble, or are they going to say that he was down? Well, regardless, the Cougars have the football, so whether it was a fumble or he was down, Cougars maintain possession with 2:12 here in the first half.
Again,
come out on offense.
Again, Centennial has a pretty long way to go here. Like I said, 2:12 left here in the second quarter. But the way they've been playing all day, I wouldn't be surprised if here in a few minutes, we're looking at them pretty close to the goal line there.
Yeah, Coop coming up under center. It will be interesting to see. Are they going to ground and pound and just try and churn those yards out, get the stoppage on first downs of the clock, and then get up to the line quickly? We'll see. Coop on the pitch. Treadle looking to break to the outside. He's going to cut it back to the opposite side of the field, and he's going to get taken down for no gain.
Want to throw it here?
Yeah, a little bit of a broken play there, but I, pretty impressed by Centennial's offensive line there to adjust like that. I mean, I saw a nice little backside block to allow Treadle to at least bounce a little bit back out to, have that play not result in a loss. So that's, canopies, but it's encouraging that that broken play didn't end up being something devastating for Centennial.
Could have been much worse for the Cougars there. Coop's going to take the snap, pump fake. He's going to throw just a little too high for his intended target, McGregor.
Yep.
McGregor.
Clock stops. Minute 29 left to go here, but it's a big 3rd down and 10 for the Cougars.
Yeah, I like that.
And the Cougars are going to get the ball to start the second half. So that's another thing we got to look at here. I mean, it's a big opportunity if they can march down and get some points on the board here before half to then get the ball back.
Right.
Coop takes the shotgun snap. He drops back. Oh, it almost looked like the receiver there, Alex Facan, just almost looked like he was worried that he was going to get hit across the middle, and he kind of hung up on his route. It went off his fingertips, and thankfully for the Cougars, that was not picked off, because that would have been the 50-yard line for the Orioles with a minute 26 to go.
Thrown into coverage like that can be dangerous, but you can't be afraid to get hit like that. I mean, that's what the pass forward, simply put. But I understand you're in Orioles coverage like that, and you sometimes it can be a little worrisome to catch a ball like that. I mean, I'm a bigger guy, but even me, if I catch a ball amongst 2-3 young men like that, it might be a little worrisome. But
Keyshawn Story with a 33-yard punt there. Orioles fair caught it there at their own 37-yard line, so that's where they'll begin with a minute and 20 to go. Again, now we flip the script, just like we were talking about for the Cougars, a big opportunity to maybe go down and get some points on the board before half. Now the Orioles, they really need to seize this opportunity, because the Cougars get the ball to start the second half, and putting some points on the board here would be big for Osseo.
Absolutely.
Handoff works out to the right there. Hughes. Cougars trying to strip the ball. He's making his way through several defenders.
What's his name?
But he ends up only picking up a couple.
And with the game tied like this, I was just going to say Stockhouse might have to, well, he's obviously kind of in his 2-minute drill right now, but you do want to go down there and put some points on the board, but you don't want to do anything stupid and turn the ball over here or anything along those lines and give Centennial an opportunity to score. So I don't necessarily blame him for playing it somewhat safe here with the run, but hey,
right,
he's going to dial up a pass here.
You never know. But, just like you were saying, they just took a long time to get this play off. But as you mentioned, Orel, he backs up. He passes out to Harmon, and Harmon with a quick break. He's going to get inside the 40, darn near the 30-yard line of the Centennial Cougars. And again, Harmon is all over the field for the Orioles. He's the only guy getting targets in the pass game, and at some point here, we'll see if the Cougars start zeroing in on him, maybe shading on some double coverage.
Oh, yeah.
But that's going to be 1st and 10 for the Orioles on the Cougars 34 here with 34 seconds left to go. Harmon gets out of bounds. Smart. You know, he ran the way he should have. He gained a bunch of yards, but he got to the sideline.
Next level play there.
Orell's going to take the snap, hand it off to the up back. He's going to be tackled at the 31. Coach Stockhouse calls a quick timeout down on the sideline.
Makes sense. And I was just about to say, kind of following up on what I was talking about earlier, it seems like Stockhouse may have had Diggins thinking the way that I was thinking. Oh, they're just going to play it safe here. And as I mentioned, well, they kind of changed that up. Big play there, nice pass play, and sets them up here pretty. I wouldn't say field goal range at this point. No matter what level they're on the 34, they're not going to go for a field goal, but at least sets them up that maybe they can get another couple passes off here and get themselves a little bit closer for either a touchdown or a little short field goal.
Well, you almost wonder if it's some sort of a chess game, Isaac, because we saw the Orioles run on the first play. They weren't in any rush to get back up to the line. They come up to the line, we're thinking, maybe the Cougars are thinking, or they're just going to run the ball here.
Hey,
well,
we're gonna come down.
Then they drop back, throw a quick pass to Harmon. He's able to take it for 30 yards, get him deep into the Cougars territory here, and it caught me by surprise for sure.
Absolutely. Sorry. And that's what the fun of that's really what's fun about football is things make sense, but sometimes things don't, and that they dial up these plays that you're not expecting, like they may be doing here.
Orell again with another pass to Harmon, but he's unable to get out of bounds, so the clock's going to run. Under 20 seconds to go here, and we got another timeout by Osseo. Yep, that is their final timeout.
18 seconds left here in the second quarter. I don't know, Bobbie. I mean, what do you think they're going to try to dial up here? In a sense, I mean, you kind of, I guess, almost do have to take a couple shots at the end zone. I mean, I don't, with no timeouts, they can't run. But at the same time, do you play it safe? Do you not? A lot of these things may or may not be obvious to people, but you gotta kind of really critically think about it, because while they may be obvious, sometimes people surprise you. As I hate to keep going back to things, as I was surprised last year when they dialed up that 2-point conversion to beat Centennial.
Yeah, no, and what's interesting here is I think they had the right play call on that last play. It looked like what they were trying to do was get Harmon to the outside and so that he could catch and get out of bounds. I don't know if it was necessarily he just lost his footing or what happened there. I mean, pretty good coverage by the Cougars to be able to contain him, to not allow him to get to the sideline. But I think they can, they still got at least one more play if they just kind of nickel and dime down the field. As long as it's to the sideline, Harmon lined up in the slot. We'll see what they're going to do here. Orell with a throw to the sideline, but he's going to be tackled.
And he's still in bounds.
Still in bounds, but it is a first down. So the clock is going to momentarily stop. The Orioles going to get up to the line, and I believe it would behoove them here to spike the ball. Absolutely. As we got 10 seconds left. You spike it. Yep, that's what they're going to do. Orell spikes the ball with 9 seconds to go here in the first half. Now you're at the 14-yard line of the Cougars. Now you're within realistic shot to open up your playbook for shots to the end zone. 14-yard routes aren't extremely uncommon. So we'll look to see what they dial up here, but I think you got time to take a couple shots to put some points on the board.
Absolutely, and gotta love that high school game where the clock does indeed stop. When
that was a big opportunity there for the Orioles. Orell takes a snap from shotgun. He's going to put it up to Harmon, and Harmon, that was Hughes. Hughes on the far side of the field. Just not a lot of height for the Oriole receivers, and that's, the Cougars, their cornerbacks, they definitely have the size advantage, and that's playing a key role. As we've seen down here in the end zone, they've taken a few shots on those corner routes, and they haven't been able to convert.
Right, and a little hand jostling there by Osseo to try to gain a little bit of advantage. Didn't matter. Field goal units on the team.
Yeah, the Orioles.
Units on the field now.
Ball is down, spot is good, and that's going to be good. Dean Lum for the Orioles. But we have a flag on the field. Of course. We can't get out of the first half without another flag on the field.
It appears.
So they're going to decline the penalty. It looked like potentially illegal use of hands to the face was the call by the referee. So 3 points on the board, and there you go, Isaac. I mean, that's a big 3 points here for the Orioles. As we talked about earlier this quarter, when they turned the ball over, and we thought, uh-oh, here we go, Cougars up by a touchdown. They got it in the Orioles territory right from the get-go, and then they give the ball right back, and the Orioles, they were able to march down, score a touchdown, able to come up with a big defensive stop on the Cougars when the Cougars got the ball back before half, and then able to march down and put 3 points on the board. That's big going into half.
It really is. It really is. I mean, you know, a scenario like that, like I said, big back-and-forth game like we've had here, Centennial's up, all of a sudden it's tied, and then those 3 points, I mean, that's just, you know, it can really bring a team down, and, you know, we'll obviously see what they do here in the second half, but that is a big deal, you know, playing on the road here for Centennial, now down by 3. Turnovers are always going to end up hurting you, and we saw that there.
Yeah, 3 seconds to go here, so likely once the Cougars touch up this ball, the clock will up, and maybe it won't because he just dove right on top of it there. So we got 2 seconds left to go. I would like to believe that the Cougars are probably going to come out here, either kneel it or just do a very conservative handoff, get into half. You don't want anything silly happening. You get the ball to start the second half and go into the locker room and see what you can do, strategy-wise to come out and maybe hit these Orioles in the face mask coming out in the second half.
Correct. And that's what appears to be really, really unintelligent if they would for anything other than, like you said, some type of quick run here. Or kneel now.
So Coop will kneel it, and the teams will head to the locker room. The Osseo Orioles here on their home turf get a big field goal with 4 seconds left to go in the first half. And they're going to take a 17-14 lead into the locker room. Isaac, you got anything you want to talk about here before we throw it to the half?
You know, I'm just really interested to see, I keep saying it, but I'm really interested to see what Centennial is going to do to respond here. On the road, down by 3, senior night here for Osseo. Obviously, you want to pick up a win every time, but on a big night like this, Saturday afternoon, you know, both teams are hungry, but I imagine Osseo here at 1-4 looking to make some noise here. They're going to, you know, continue to work hard, and hopefully we'll have a great second half and see what both of these teams can do to either, you know, keep the game going.
Well, we'll see what each team can dial up here at halftime coming out in the second half. We had a great first half, cleaned up play in the second quarter, and the Orioles take a 17-14 lead into halftime. Please come back and join us here on North Metro TV for the second half.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Known for its vineyards and hilltop villages, Umbria is also known for its delicious tasting pizza. Made traditionally from the finest ingredients, Umbria Pizzeria will make you taste the difference, smell the love, and transport you to Italy.
La cena è pronta.
Dinner's ready.
You might even begin to feel like an Italian.
Delicioso.
Umbria Pizzeria, turning taste into memories.
Welcome back to Osseo High School. About to get the second half underway with the Orioles up 17-14. Cougars are gonna get the ball here to start the second half, Isaac. And after giving up a field goal late in the first half, they're gonna need to look to come out and put some points on the board right away.
Absolutely, and as you stated, going into halftime, they do get the ball back here, and
Play four.
you know, I imagine they're going to come out really, really hungry. Just look to capitalize on the opportunity to have the ball here. Unfortunately, you know, late in the first half there, they turned the ball over, and I know.
I do. It's way better.
You know, Dickens talked about that with them, I'm sure, and they're going to come out here and just try and do what they do well and pound the ball and get a touchdown here.
Yeah, that was one of his biggest points when we talked to him, and we've probably mentioned it already on the broadcast, that he wants the team to just be consistent. He talked about last week they ran for 301 yards and they lost the game. He said, how do you do that? How do you run for 301 yards and not come out victorious? On the flip side of the coin, it brings up the point that the Osseo Orioles, they rushed for 431 yards last week, and they lost on a last under a minute to go touchdown from Champlin Park, and then a 2-point conversion sealed the deal. Here we go. Fair catch called by Centennial. That is McGregor there. And we're underway here in the second half.
Good decision to call for a fair catch there. Otherwise, he might have just
We're starting with number.
put it frankly, he might have got lit up. You know, Osseo had a pretty good
Left
jump on the
hash.
ball
Yeah,
there,
number
and,
4. Eagle 4.
Not a lot of coverage for Centennial. You know, it's a good decision by McGregor there.
Yeah, interesting approach here from the Orioles on their kickoffs. A lot of short kicks, maybe trying to make something happen. And here's Coob.
You know,
quick pass out to Story. Story with a nice stiff arm, able to shed a tackler, break loose, and he's going to have a first down into Orioles territory. We'll move them chains right away.
Yep, coming out here on the first play, I noticed right away, you know, three wide receivers right there, a little screen pass, and worked out really well. So things that you pay attention to on the field end up developing to something like that.
Coob in the shotgun again. Another fake pass out to McGregor. He's able to make the catch. Nice spin move there to break the first tackle. And he's going to gain 6 yards, maybe even 7.
Beautiful catch by McGregor there, you know. Play like that, you're kind of looking for the defense there, more than likely, kind of out there in no man's land, but he made sure he secured the catch before he took off. That's a pretty veteran move by McGregor there.
Yeah, very nice job, especially because that pass was borderline backwards. If it gets away from him and an Oriole defender's able to scoop it up, it's going the other way. Coob again in the shotgun, fakes the handoff. He's going to take it himself. He's very close to the first down, but it looks like they're going to call him just shy, so we're going to have a 3rd and short here with 10 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
Looking like Centennial's definitely going to do some type of running play here.
Well, you might as well. It's 4-down territory. If you can't pick up a half a yard on this play, you're going to come right back and try and pick up a half a yard on the next play. Coob under center. Sets Story in motion. Hands the ball to Treadle, and Treadle's going to break through, pick up the first down and a lot more. Down to the 27-yard line. Gain of 10 yards on that 3rd and short.
You know, and that play was pretty ridiculous in the sense that you almost know that the way that was set up, it was going to go to Treadle. You know, a little motion, going to go to the right. Didn't matter. Osceo's defense didn't pick it up well enough, or if nothing else, Treadle's that good that he made that play happen.
Yeah, Treadle's had a nice game. Split backs here for the Cougars. Story in motion, fake sweep to him, and they're going to hand the ball off for a gain of what appears to be 2 yards.
Flip 8. Yep, flip 8.
Dante Book got the carry there. Haven't heard a whole lot from Book today. Been a lot of Treadle, a lot of Story.
Yeah, and Book was one of the bigger players with Treadle in the previous meeting they had on September 25th of last year, with Book and Treadle combining for over 200 all-purpose yards.
And just as soon as we say we haven't heard from him, he's going to take it to the house. Book from 25 yards out. The Red Sea parted, and he decided to just run right through for 6 points for the Centennial Cougars. Another fake on the jet sweep to Story, which has become pretty common here from the Cougars this afternoon, and Book just took it right up the middle, almost untouched to the house.
You know, same type of formation each time. They just kind of change it up a little bit or just catch Osseo with their pants down a little bit and they capitalize there.
So we went out of
Kick is up and good for the extra point. And that's going to give the Cougars a 21-17 lead here with 9 minutes and 32 seconds. So again, not as quick of a hit as the Orioles had in the first half to kick off the game. They scored in about 1:15, 1:45, somewhere in that range. But still, 2.5 minutes in, Cougars just take the ball right down the field. And you got to start to wonder if the Orioles need to change up their kickoff strategy, because giving the ball to the Cougars at or near midfield has not worked out well for the Orioles today. They did, right after the fumble, they had the ball, and then they gave it right back. But outside of that, when the Cougars have had great field position, they're marching down and putting points on the board.
Yes, they are. And again, unfortunately, I just haven't seen Osseo enough or haven't gotten to scout them enough. I don't know if it's just a matter of that, they literally can't, kick it off long enough, or if they just are that confident that they can recover, or what their strategy is with that. But yeah, give the ball to Centennial with that little of ground to cover to score. It's not working out for them.
Short kick here from the Cougars. Orioles are going to get it up to about their own 32-yard line. Oh, a big push there, and we're going to make it the 34-yard line.
No, there isn't.
Be interesting to see who comes out to quarterback here for the Orioles. It looks like it's Hughes. I don't think I see Orel on the field anywhere. So it looks like Hughes is going to come out, play quarterback at least to start the second half.
That's exactly what I was looking for. That's why I was a little silent there. I was trying to determine who they were going to send out there for quarterback.
Shotgun snap, pitch to Taylor, who basically corrals it with one hand. And the Cougars do a nice job of stretching that play out to the sideline, contain Taylor for a short 2-yard gain. And that's what the Cougars need to do, Isaac, is Taylor, he's got some explosive upside to him, but if they can string those plays out and everybody stays home in their gaps, that's going to be a key to limit Taylor in the second half.
Absolutely. Taylor's like we kind of talked about during halftime. He's a big guy, but if you can contain him, again, with that game tackling and just good defensive technique, you can limit his ability to gain yardage.
Little quarterback option play there. Hughes decides to hang on to the ball, gets a few, but it's going to be 3rd and long here for the Orioles. And again, the Cougars doing a nice job there of sticking to the man they're supposed to stick to. Hughes was waiting for the guy on the edge for the Cougars to bite. Then he was going to pitch it to Taylor, but he never bit on it, which allowed the Cougars to gang tackle and make the play.
I hate to keep preaching that gang tackling thing, but at the same time, it really does work. I mean, if everybody is involved in the play, good things are going to happen.
Hughes with a handoff to Taylor. He finds a seam, but big tackle by Jared Peterson for the Cougars. It's going to be 4th down and 3 to go.
They got to send out the punt team here, I'd imagine, and that's what they're going to do.
So the Orioles look like they're going to punt the ball away here with just over 8 minutes left to go in the third quarter. We can hear the Cougars sideline yelling, watch the ball, just in case there's some sort of a fake.
Story back deep here.
But the punt is up. Story, he's going to look to return this. Nice move to get to the outside. Big block there.
Okay, here we go. So,
big number 56, Luke Chow.
Great block.
He lit up the Oriole defender right there.
I don't have any bias towards either one of these teams. But when he made that hit, if you could see my reaction, it was I got a little pumped. That was a solid hit. Wasn't illegal, completely, totally clean. Coach on the sideline right now has got to be giving him a pat on the back because that was great.
And at the high school level, those types of hits really jack up your teammates. As Coug pitches the ball here to Story.
Hey, let's go Buckeye number 7.
Story's going to pick up what appears to be
Polo
about
left.
5 to 6 yards
Twins
on that
left,
carry.
Polo left.
It's going to be second down, and we'll call it 5 to go here for the Cougars.
Yep.
Officially, since they started that at midfield, into Oriole territory. And they've run a lot of offensive plays in Oriole territory today.
That they have. Now they just need to make sure that they hold on to the ball here,
Running away
which
from them.
obviously wasn't a problem last drive.
Coug takes the shotgun snap, hands it off to who else but Riley Treadle. He goes up the gut for 4 yards. We're going to have a
Iowa
third and
power.
1 to go.
Iowa 8. Iowa 8.
7 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
I imagine, somewhat obvious, but looking run here. Probably send a man in motion. And probably similar to that play that, Treadle had a really big gain on last drive.
And it's to Treadle, and wouldn't you know it, Isaac, he's moving those chains again.
Now let's go 12 again.
4-yard
Pro
plunge.
Jet trap right. Iowa 12.
And on a play like that, I wonder if now they kind of look to their pass game. The running's been working so well. Maybe send out a formation that looks like it's going to be a run, and then, some type of pass here to the outside.
Coug sets Story in motion. And they hand it to Book, and he's going up the middle. And he's bringing the noise here in the second half. Not much from him in the first half, if at all. And he's come out after a mediocre first run, touchdown run, another big gainer there.
This is toss.
7 yards. We're looking at 2nd and 3
Touch left over, toss left.
as we approach the 6-minute mark of the third quarter. 2nd and 4, says the scoreboard. Pitch here to Story. He's going to cut it up the middle, and he's got a big hole, and he's moving those chains for the Cougars down to the 23-yard line.
Let's go.
Like you said, Book was pretty quiet in the first half. I'm not entirely sure
Buckeye
if he
6.
did much
Buckeye
of anything
6.
of note, if I recall. And obviously these teams scout these players, but I wonder if the Osseo sideline's sitting here like, who's this guy? He had a great game against them last year, but considering he hasn't done much as of the first half, he's got to come up big here.
And just looking at him down there, Isaac, as Coug hands the ball off to Treadle for 3 yards, Book is a big boy. You look at him and Treadle, he's definitely stout. He's a bit shorter than Book, though. But I'm looking out there, and Book looks like he's one of the biggest kids on the field for the Cougars. So he's a force to be reckoned with when they hand the rock off to him.
Book listed at 6'1", 215 pounds. He's a big boy, so he's not a force to be reckoned with.
Hand off to Book, and they stuff him right in the backfield. Ran right into a wall of Oriole defenders.
Osseo sniffed that play out real quick. As we're sitting here praising Book, Osseo's caught on. They're like, okay, well, we need to, just get to that second level, as they say, and make sure that we, wrap him up. And that's exactly what they
It looks like, and he's down on the field now. Jacob Jones for Osseo. He was one of the defenders for the Orioles that tackled Book. And after a brief celebration from him, he went down, and it looked like he was holding his left arm. So I'm not quite sure what happened to him, but like we were saying, Book is a big boy, and having him run square into you can't feel very good.
No. And Bobbie, I'm around 250 these days. You have a guy like Book running to me, even in full pads. That's not too good. He's a strong fella.
Think about running trap at the new.
And unfortunately, for the Osseo defender down there, that he may have felt the full force of Book on that play.
Yeah, so Jacob Jones down on the field.
It's okay.
Down on the field for the Orioles. Trainer checking out that left hand. Very easily could have been something that got jammed. Especially, you think about that, Isaac. A lot of times when there's 2, 3, 4 defenders in on a tackle, you got bodies flying everywhere.
Right.
You got big bodies falling to the ground. It amazes me that it's not more often that a guy comes out of that hurt, because you're looking at his hand as Jacob Jones is up now, but you got 5 fingers on each of your hand. You never know which direction those things might go.
That's true. That is very true, and hopefully he's okay.
Coach Stockhouse out there with the trainer checking on Jones. Still looking at that left hand. We'll have to keep our eyes out to see if he makes his way back on the field or if his day is done. So play back in action here. Koob under center. He comes back. Play action. Rolls out to his left. He throws a back across his body. He had Story. Story was set down right in front of a couple defenders there, but just couldn't hit the target.
Yeah, and I think he made the right decision there. He, probably maybe could have tried to run out of bounds or get a little bit further up, but at least he got the ball away, and in the very least, at least he didn't make an unintelligent play and potentially have it intercepted there. So I think he made the right decision there. And getting that rollout, though, he's looking really good on a lot of those rollouts. I'm very impressed by about that aspect of his game.
4th down and 9 here for the Cougars at the Orioles 22. Koob takes the shotgun snap. He's looking deep, and he's got the first down.
Let's go Polo out of Polo.
That pass to Alex
No, Power. Iowa 8.
Pass game continues to seemingly set up that run game.
And it looks like the Cougars have an opportunity to get the ball down to the 1 or maybe just inside the 1 yard line. They'll pick up a first down, so we don't have a goal-to-go situation at this point. Koob under center, Book up back. Treadle gets the handoff. He makes one cut.
Let's go back to Eagle and run Polo.
He gets a carry there for about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6 for the Cougars here with 4:20 left to go in the third quarter.
And it looked like, again, kind of talking about what I was talking about earlier, much earlier, he was really patient with that run. You know, younger running backs might just see that hole open up and, I'm just going to continue to go on and run into a wall of defenders. But he kind of let it develop, let his blocks kind of happen. He made that nice cut there and picked up a solid amount of yardage.
Run what? Run what, Jay?
Shotgun snap. Koob immediately hands it to Treadle, and I think he got into the end zone, and yes, he did. The referee's hands are in the air, and the Cougars have taken a 27-17 lead with the pending extra point to come. Treadle with another touchdown, his 3rd of the game.
And there you go. Centennial really did come out here in this second half so far, and they responded. They didn't take too lightly going into halftime down by 3 there, so that's what you like to see out of your offense.
So the Cougars, first flag here of the second half.
11.
It's
going to back the Cougars up 5 yards.
And I hear, just real quick, I hear number 55 for Osseo, Miller, just livid. You know, you're going to let Centennial come here on our field, our homecoming, and do this to us? He's yelling at everybody. He's trying to get people pumped up. So, in that, as you see, Centennial converts that extra point. In that, I'd really be interested to see when Osseo gets the ball back, if they respond. Even if nothing else, if he responds, you know, he just blocks that much harder or what have you. I mean, he's, you know.
Well, the Orioles definitely,
around.
The Orioles definitely need to do something here, Isaac. I mean, we're at the 3:50 mark of the third quarter, so we got 8 minutes into this second half, and the Cougars have already marched down twice. They're 2 for 2 on their possessions here in the second half. They've opened up an 11-point lead on the Orioles, and minus a couple pass attempts, they are just cramming the ball down the throats of the Orioles defense with their run game.
Right. And you know, you see things like that in any sport, you're like, well, you know, people that may not be as knowledgeable in the game, you look at that and they're like, well, why don't they just stop them? You know, what's going on here? It's really not that easy when you got a running back like Treadle and a running back like Book here in the second half. But at the same time, you see that and you do kind of got to scratch your head and say, well, why, you know, what can they do here to stop this? Because if nothing else, you know, put a lot of guys there in the middle, well, then that just opens up the passing game, and Centennial's taking advantage at all levels of the game.
So the Squib Kick game continues here for both teams.
They're contained.
The Orioles getting around the outside there. That was Harmon, the man of the hour for the Orioles. He's going to have to step up here for the offense if they're going to make a push here in the second half. Him and Taylor, those two guys, they are clearly, and I suppose you could maybe throw Martellus Hughes into the mix. He's been, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, but the Orioles have a few key playmakers, and those are the guys that need to step up here on this drive for the Orioles if they're going to keep this game close and not let it get away from them.
Okay.
So we got Orell back on the field here at quarterback. He's going to hand off to Harmon on the sweep. Big tackle in the backfield there by the Cougars.
Yes.
Jason Thorud on the tackle.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Osseo, they didn't return a lot of people from that state championship team last year. And while they are a really good team, they just don't have that same firepower they had last year. They do have to look to these main guys. When you have to look to those main guys, that's who the defense is going to key on, and that's why it doesn't seem like they can get anything going on right now.
2nd and 13 for the Orioles after a 3-yard loss on the sweep to Harmon. Pass play, and that's going to be broken up. Nice play there by Jared Peterson all over Martellus Hughes, who got the target from Orell. It's going to be 3rd and quite a ways here for the Orioles. We haven't had a ton of 3rd and long situations today. We had that 2nd and long earlier in the game when the Cougars were able to pick up that big play from Coop to McGregor in the first half. But we'll see what the Orioles can do here. But this is a big spot for the Cougars if they can contain. Orell in the shotgun. He's going to drop back, dump it off here to Hughes. Hughes looking to make something happen. That looked like a bit of a hold here on the near side, but they're still well short of the first down. 4 yards to go at their own 45. You're down by 11. This is a tough spot, but it looks like the Orioles are going to go for it.
Yeah, and I imagine they kind of really do. Kind of getting later in the game, homecoming. That doesn't factor in a team purpose, but at the same time, you don't want to lose on your home field, as I was talking about earlier, on homecoming.
Okay.
So 4th and 4.
Oh.
And now we're making a quick
personnel.
change.
I don't know if they meant to do that.
No.
So now the Orioles are going to punt.
Okay. Centennial doesn't have anybody back deep.
A lot of chaos there for the Orioles. I have to.
Buckeye number one.
I have to imagine the thought process there, Isaac, is you're hoping that the Cougars just drop somebody back that maybe isn't as skilled at catching the football, and you hope they make a mistake. Because outside of that, there was maybe a bit of confusion there in that hurry up of a change. But, luckily for the Cougars, Trey Driscoll was able to be back, catch the ball, and they have the ball now, looking to drive.
First thing I noticed, they're in punt formation. They don't have anybody back. Driscoll's the closest guy to play, but Centennial didn't seem too worried about that. I mean, some teams might have taken the time out on that, but they just kind of went with it.
Koob with the fake toss. Oh, almost picked. But off of the bounce of the pick, it almost looked like there was an opportunity there for the Cougars. Looks like McGregor was kind of trailing that play, and off the carom from the defender. Right spot, right time, but McGregor was close to maybe catching that and being able to take it upfield.
Well, and what I noticed is Reggie Dupree was even in the area, off that deflection. It would have been really interesting had he made that play. He could have been gone. It might have been 6 points right there for Centennial.
And they'll go back to the ground here, hand off to Treadle. He looks like he's going to be contained, but he's able to kind of slip through and turn a loss into a gain of 1 for the Cougars.
He's fantastic at just doing that. I mean, turning what looked to be like nothing into something. I mean, that easily could have been for most other running backs. in this section, I can almost say nothing, even the more skilled ones, but he made it happen there to make sure that they didn't have a loss.
Minute 20 to go here in the third quarter. 3rd down and 10 to go. They'll call it a no gain for Treadle on that carry. Koob is in the shotgun. He'll drop back. He'll rifle it downfield. No catch there. Alex Vacan trying to make a play, looked for a flag. Good defense all around by the Orioles there. And to that point you were making about Treadle, Isaac, I don't think we've called a loss of yards for him at all today. He does a nice job of taking the ball, going to where he needs to go with it. And then, you know, in that, it was a bit of a broken play, but he was able to turn a loss into what appeared to be a no gain, according to the scoreboard. So now the Cougars will punt. Story. Ooh, not a good punt by Story there. That's gonna turn out to be a 7-yard punt for the Cougars.
Looked like he was under a little bit of stress too on that by Ace. I'm just gonna call him Ace. Number 8 there for Osseo. I understand how you say that last name, but I'm not going to embarrass myself.
Novalangzi, I do believe, now that I'm thinking about it.
Looking at even his first name, I hear that they call him Ace, which is good because his first name's somewhat difficult as well. But at any rate, to get to the point, Story under a little bit of stress by him there and able to make that play.
So here come the Orioles with the ball. Best starting field position for them today. They hand it off to Hughes, and he is wrapped up in the backfield by Thorud.
No, we can't. Hey, we haven't done Ron.
That's going to go for a loss of 1, and it's going to be 2nd down and 11 as the clock keeps ticking here. 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. This next play may be our last before we head to the fourth.
Man, Osseo just can't put anything together right now on offense. I mean, and again, just with those kind of key players that they have, it's like, you know, there's not really much else they can do unless somebody steps up for them that isn't one of these key players.
Orell on the play action. Dump out.
Well, they believe in it.
That was Jeff Ekior on the reception. A nice little play there by the Orioles to pick up some positive yardage. They needed that because now it's 3rd down. As the clock hits 0 here in the third quarter, we're going to move to the fourth quarter. We'll switch ends.
You know what, Mark, I love that idea. It's a great first one.
Osseo putting up that fourth quarter on the sidelines there. This will be crucial for them to see if they can put some stuff together to make this game a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd down and 5 when we get going here on the fourth quarter, Isaac. And
so let's go
I don't want to make it more of a, you know, make it sound like it's be-all, end-all right here for the Orioles, but you're down 28-17. At home. Just bad punt here by the Cougars has set you up with the best starting field position, of the day. You got to come out and put points on the board, and it needs to be a touchdown here for the Orioles if they want to get momentum back on their side for the fourth quarter.
Most definitely, and whether it be, you know, a guy like Hughes or Taylor, you gotta put something, or Ekier. I mean, I feel like we haven't really called his name much today, but he had that nice reception there on that one of those last plays. And you know, either way, like you said, down like this in the fourth quarter, they need to put something together, or they might let this game just slip away from them.
So 3rd and 5, both teams back out on the field. We're going to get the fourth quarter going here. Student section trying to pump up the Oriole fan base. Orell under center with Hughes as the deep back, Ekior as the up back. He takes a snap. That's a false start for sure. The whole line moved and the center decided not to snap the ball. That's big for the Orioles. We go from 3rd and 5 now to 3rd and 10. And like we talked about before, Isaac, these long 3rd downs have just been few and far between, and for that matter, not very successful from either side of the field today.
They really haven't. I mean, at this point, yeah, could you do some type of draw or some type of sweep to potentially pick that up? Maybe, but at this point, I really do feel like you got to look for one of those deep threats you have, like a Harmon, to kind of get this first down.
Orell takes a snap in the shotgun. He drops back. He's scanning, and he is going to get taken down. Luke Chul, he's been all over the place today for the Cougars. We mentioned his name earlier on a punt return. Big-time play there to sack the quarterback, and that's going to bring up a 4th down and 12 to go here for the Osseo Orioles. And you know, when they're sitting at the Cougar 34-yard line, you can't punt. You're down 11 points. I suppose you could punt, but they're going to try and pick this up. And we'll see what happens as they spread out wide. Orell in the shotgun, 5 wide receiver set. He drops back. He's going to air it out for Hughes, and that's just an uncatchable ball. It doesn't matter what happened between the wide receiver and the cornerback. Little bumping, nothing too severe, but that ball was just too far out of bounds to even have a play on it.
Yeah. And he had Thorud right in his face. I mean, that Centennial defensive line is just going to get tremendous penetration to get to the quarterback. And I'm really impressed by, you know, not only the line, but, you know, yeah, obviously a guy like Chul, but that it's a lot more often than not kind of set up by the line, you know, making those holes for these guys to get into those gaps and make plays like that.
So the Cougars are going to take over possession here at their own 34-yard line. 11 minutes, 12 seconds to go here in the game. Koob is in the shotgun with Treadle back there with him, and he's going to hand it off to Treadle. Tackle for 1 yard.
Eagle. And I want to do Polo, which is number 4.
Tawa Wanta, a senior, up front for the Orioles on the tackle. 2nd down and 9 to go here for the Cougars. Coming out again in the shotgun set. We've seen this set a lot. One of these receivers popping back, maybe catching a screen. And Treadle slips up the middle for a few yards.
Let's go Waggle.
It's going to be 3rd down and 5. Sorry, Isaac, go ahead.
My apologies. And you, as I say, you got a guy like Treadle and a guy like Book. You know, yeah, while there may be a little under 10 and a half left in the game, why not play the clock game? I mean, you're up. You might as well just try to run the ball. And if your run game is successful, that run, while it, yes, is going to burn the clock, it can also lead to a score. So I am not opposed to the strategy at all.
Oh, I completely agree. They've had a lot of success, especially here in the second half, running the ball. Koob trying to draw the defense offsides. He had 4 guys jumping, but none of them jumped across the line. And now they're going to take a timeout. I don't mind it. I mean, it's a good play call. You're trying to make them jump off sides, get an easy 1st down instead of having to earn it. They got timeouts to burn. You're up 11 points. I don't mind the call.
Nope. And, you know, kind of like, you know, while Koob is, you know, obviously a new quarterback for them coming in here, kind of a little bit of a veteran move there, you know, trying to draw him off sides. He saw something he didn't like, and he, you know, made the right call to make a time or call a timeout there. You know,
go ahead.
I was say, I know we were talking to Diggins before the game. He kind of mentioned with the fact that Koob isn't as used to this type of thing. He wouldn't allow Koob to do a lot of audibles. They'd make the play call, and he would just, you know, have to go with it. But you know, again, I'm pretty happy with how he's played today and that decision of seeing what their defense was lined up with and, you know, call a timeout there. So.
It gives you a little extra time now to dial something up on 3rd and 5, because if the Cougars are able to pick this up, that gives them a fresh set of downs and allows them to bleed the clock a little more. So Koob drops back. He's going to pass. He put it right on Fakan, but just a little too high. Defender all over him. And the Cougars are going to send out the punt team here and try and play the field position game.
Absolutely. We got Harmon back deep here for the Orioles. They're looking to come here on offense. But a guy like Orioles here, or a guy like Harmon here, you know, he might take one back. Centennial can't take him too lightly.
Yeah, Harmon's been making a lot of plays. Ooh, a little pressure up the gut there from the Orioles. Harmon, nice juke. Able to pick up about 8 yards or so on the return. The Orioles got a little bit of pressure up the middle there. Story, though, able to get off a decent punt. But the Orioles going to start at their own 41. This is great field position for them. And we're getting to that point where they need to start taking advantage of this field position and make a drive and score a touchdown.
let's
Simply
go
put,
jet
Bobbie,
trap.
I really don't have much else to add to that, honestly. I mean, that's at this point in the game, that's
So let's
that's
do
what
that
you got to look
out
for.
of Eagle.
They got some time, but time's a ticket. You really need to put one in here and gain some momentum in this game.
Martellus Hughes is back in at quarterback. He's going to audible into the shotgun here. Takes the snap, surveying the field. He's going to go deep. A wobbly pass, but Harmon able to sneak through 2 Cougar defenders and come up with the football. You got to contain on that. That was a lame duck floating in the sky. And Harmon able to track the ball, come back and make the play, and leaving the Cougar defense stunned.
Being more of a defensive guy, again, I have no bias towards either one of these teams, but as you kind of saw from me there, I'm just putting my hands in there. How does that happen?
Yeah.
Really, really wobbly pass, really severely short, a lot of error on the pass. You got to make that play.
Yep.
Even if you just knock it down. If I'm the defensive coordinator for the Centennial right now, I'm saying a few choice words I won't repeat over here right now.
Out of Iowa.
Unfortunate play for the Cougars, but a big play for the Orioles. They're deep down into the Cougars' side of the field. Fake on the jet sweep. Hughes keeps the ball. Cougars, nice job there of corralling Hughes and containing him to just a 2-yard gain. Just under 9 minutes to go here. It's going to be 2nd down and 8 to go for the Orioles.
That's why I like trap. It hits fast.
As they look to make that big play hurt the Cougar D.
And that's what it's looking like right now. Ball here at their 25, looking to capitalize, get into the red zone, and hopefully they can put something together because, fourth quarter, homecoming, this is what it's about.
Aaron Jupal, the deep back, he was a starter today along with Jeff Ekior, who's the up back, but we're going to have a false start here on the Orioles, which is going to back them up 5 yards. It's going to be a 2nd and 13.
Let's go jet trap.
So they move them back. Orioles will reset here. Like I was saying, Aaron Jupal was the deep back prior to that penalty on the Orioles. Haven't heard a lot from him today, even though he was a starter. Speaking of guys we haven't heard a lot about, at least lately, and that would be Parnell Taylor. He's been pretty quiet and, quite honestly, not even really on the field for the offense here in the second half.
Correct, and I don't know why that might be because he was exposing Centennial's defense pretty well earlier on.
Hughes drops back a much better toss this time to Harmon. He just was not able to get around the defense quick enough there.
Split jet trap.
Covered by Trey Driscoll. Driscoll did a nice job there, kind of driving Harmon to the sideline. And Hughes' throw was, I'm not going to say it was necessarily a post route, but it was in between the corner and the post there. And Driscoll did a nice job of driving Harmon away from the football.
Cougars might have gotten away with a bit of a push there on that coverage, but that's in the past now.
Hughes in the shotgun, rolling right on 3rd and 13, and he just sails that to a spectator along the sideline. So we're going to have a 4th and 13, and history is going to suggest that the Orioles are going to go for it here. We're getting ever deeper into this game, just over 8 minutes left to go, and
Iowa #1.
you got to just keep going for it here, Isaac.
Yeah, my eyes were on Stockhouse and didn't look like he even flinched on this decision to go for it here.
So from the Cougars 30, we're going to have a 4th down and 13 by the Orioles. Hughes looks like he's going to set up 5 wide in the shotgun spread formation. A little trickery here. Harmon on the reverse, and he is going to get stopped in the backfield.
Big play by the Cougar defense.
Schultz there again. This kid has been dynamite for the Cougars on defense today.
And before that play, I'm just kind of racking my mind as to what the Orioles could have done there. And I'm thinking, maybe a cross or a pass down the middle, maybe some type of cross route, post route. That might have, worked out pretty well. But no, they decided to go a little trickery there, a little reverse. Potentially could have been something, but the way the Cougars defense has been playing today, nothing happened there.
No, you could kind of see that setting up. They sent Ekior in motion, and then Harmon was coming along the back with the double reverse there, the reverse play. So the Cougars 1st and 10, fake the jet sweep, and I believe that was Treadle. Yes, it was, for a gain of what appears to be 3 yards. So it'll be 2nd and 7 to go here for the Cougars on their own 36.5-yard line.
Less than 8 minutes left. Again, it appears to, continue to work that run game. It's been successful for them. Late in the game, might as well continue to burn that clock.
Well, and the Cougars aren't hiding anything. They're setting up, looking like they're going to run. And there's Treadle breaking through up to the 45-yard line. A gain of 9 yards on the carry, and he's going to have a big first down for the Cougars. The clock's going to stop momentarily to move the chains, and then it's going to get wheeling again.
And Treadle's a good running back overall, but it really does seem like when his name is called against the Orioles, he really steps up, going back to, again, a little bit of how he played last year and going into this year. He's not messing around. He's trying to ruin the Orioles' homecoming here, and he's doing a good job of that so far.
Cougars here set up with 3 wide, and it's a little screen here to Story on the short side of the field, but he's able to pick up 8 yards.
Flip it. Yep, tell him to go follow.
And, as I keep preaching about, all this run game, they're trying to burn clock, got to burn clock. Essentially that is run. A little screen pass like that, really easy, stayed in bounds, obviously, and clock continues to tick. And that's what Centennial's got to do here.
So they're going to line up in the same set here, and they're just going to turn those 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Koob in the shotgun. He hands it to Treadle, and it was an ugly exchange, but Treadle able to grab a hold of that ball before disaster. But it is going to be a loss. First loss for Treadle on a carry today. Not a loss of much. 1 yard loss, maybe a 2 yard loss. We're going to be set up with 3rd and 3 to go here on the Oriole 48-yard line.
And I was just about to say, I imagine Treadle's heartbeat probably skipped a beat there pretty quick, because he had that Orioles defense right in his face as he kind of ended up mishandling that ball.
I think Riley left a little too soon.
Story in motion, and the handoff to Book, and he just busts through the middle, untouched, down to the 42-yard line. Picks up a big first down for the Cougars.
Let's go Iowa 10.
Yeah, and that motion that Centennial ends up doing a lot of these run plays, while you might be able to sniff it out, they're just so good at it that, you're looking at one thing and all of a sudden, boom, plays happening right up the middle. First down.
Just over 5.5 to go here. 1st and 10 from the Oriole 42 for the Cougars. Koob calling out some shots to his old lineman, hands it off to Treadle, and he churns out another carry of 5 yards for the Cougars. And, Isaac, I don't think I'm breaking any news here, but if the Cougars are able to march down the way they're bleeding the clock on this drive, if they're able to punch it home, they'll have doubled up the Orioles, and we'll be looking at the Cougars just working on salting this thing away.
Absolutely. I mean, at this point, the Orioles need to figure something out. I don't know if that needs to be, but they need to figure something out. Otherwise, this game, I'm not going to say it's over, but it might be over.
Treadle grabbed by the shoelaces there.
Yep, let's go with Iowa 1.
By Omotoyinbo.
Yep, Iowa 1.
Able to hang on for dear life and bring Treadle down. We're going to have what appears to be a 3rd and 2.
You got $2 to get it. Okay, all right.
Ball here on the 34-yard line of the Orioles.
Based on this formation, I'd imagine maybe another guy in motion. Yep, and right up the middle.
Hand it off to the up-man Book, and he is running with a purpose, dragging defenders down to the 11-yard line of the Orioles. Book quiet in the first half, but man alive, has he opened up here in the second.
Using that big 6'1", 215-pound frame to just take advantage of the Orioles defense there on that play.
The crazy thing, Isaac, is it appears as though it is just it's wide open spaces for him. He gets the ball. He doesn't even have to hammer through the line. It's just he hits the hole and he's gone.
Exactly. He's really impressive. Really impressive player to watch.
Just past the 4-minute mark. left here in the game. Another handoff to the up man, Book. Breaking through tackles.
Flip it.
He's going to get down to the
2-yard line,
Flip
maybe?
it. Just flip it.
Yeah, it's looking like the 2-yard line. I think you're right. So very close to another first down, and we got an Osseo player down on the field.
Another player down.
Second.
Book on that play, trying to dive to get that touchdown, and unfortunately, that may have resulted in this Osseo player being down.
Another carry by Book, another Oriole hurt. So that speaks volumes for just the type of runner that Book is, the fact how difficult he is to bring down.
Right. Speaking of that, we were talking about how we're going to monitor Jones for Osseo. He went down a little bit earlier, and I'm not entirely sure.
He is back. Yep, he is on the field. Yep, I just happened to, when you said that, I looked over and saw 15. Not quite sure who the player is down for the Orioles.
So if we don't get this.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure either, but yeah, just kind of looking.
I want to go
guess,
pro left, ISO right.
In that, look around the high school.
Yeah,
week
I want to
here
run
today.
away from that. That's why.
This is the only 6A game going on. It appears we have another 5 games going on. Minneapolis.
Pro left, ISO right. Yeah, that's a pro left, ISO
Roseville,
right.
Minneapolis North.
No.
Playing. We'll
Right.
score
I
on
wanna
that.
flip number 10.
Breck,
So it'd be
St. Paul Harding.
Pro right, ISO
Alexander and Brainerd, as we see
pro right, ISO right.
injured
Flip
Osseo
means
player coming
everything
back
is
out. He appears to be coming off on his own power, so that's good. Still not entirely sure who
Kind
that
of,
is.
yeah, I can't tell who it is, but it looks like he's got his left hand up kind of under his armpit, kind of maybe in the rib area. Tough to tell from here.
Right. 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be right on that. Tevin Yang.
Yep.
Yep.
5'11", 150-pound cornerback for the Oriole defense.
Yeah, then we can run it. No, I like that. Yep.
So we got 2nd down and 1 from the 2-yard line. Coob hands it off to Book. Book falls forward, and it looks like we're going to have a first down here for the Cougars inside the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and the interior defense for Osseo seemed to get a really good jump on that. Lisinski, D lineman for Osseo, was right in the middle of that. He sniffed that play out pretty well and did his job. Plugged out that hole, make sure the Book couldn't do anything with that.
I don't know.
Oh, and I apologize. I was wrong. It looked like the referee was stopping the clock because they got a first down, but it will be 3rd and 1 just outside of the 1-yard line. And Coob is going to be on the sneak. He fell forward. He's got to have the first down from the looks of it up here.
Forward progress, I imagine you got to give that to him.
Want to do trap again?
And
give him a measurement.
Wow.
Bring in the chain game.
They're going to call it 4th down. Unbelievable. We don't have the greatest vantage point from from behind up here at the moment, but it appeared as though he fell forward. And when they're marked a half a yard shy of the first down, you fall forward, you would assume you're there. But nonetheless, the clock runs 2.5 minutes to go, 4th and 1. Either way, the Cougars are bleeding the clock here.
Right. I thought they'd maybe try to bring in for a measurement,
and it looks like
Iowa 8.
That's not going to be the case.
So the Cougars are going to take a timeout. They let the clock bleed. So we're sitting at 2 minutes and 19 seconds left to go in this game, and a 4th down and 1. And Isaac, really what it boils down to here is whether you pick it up or not, you're going to force the squad on the opposite side of the field of you to drive 98 yards, and they're still down by multiple scores.
Exactly. I mean,
power no pull.
At this level of football,
so we're saying
either way,
basically.
I'm not the coach, but you go for it.
Yes.
If you get it, great, awesome, fantastic. You're set up for yet another touchdown. If you don't get it, it's like a punt. It's like a really good punt, realistically. You pin them right, within 2 yards of their own goal line there, so might as well. We'll see what Osseo brings out for defense, and I imagine Centennial on this type of thing. I mean, they just went with the quarterback draw, so maybe go to the up man.
We're on power, no pole. But it's
Well, they definitely
Book,
have
yeah.
options. You got Book as the up back, it looks like. You got Treadle, who's been able to find holes, run after run today. So we'll see what the Cougars dial up here on 4th and 1 with 2:19 left to go in the game. Koob under center. Takes the snap, hands it to Treadle. Treadle powers forward, and he is into the end zone.
no.
Treadle is a
And that
bad
is his
man, but
4th touchdown.
unfortunately, we got another
I didn't see
Oriole
it,
down.
did
And he looks pretty hurt, unfortunately.
I didn't think he got in.
Never like to see that.
Oh, I missed the sign. That's why I said no.
And he's getting back up. That's number 8
To waste
Ace.
more time. Yeah.
for Osseo
Yeah.
yet again. Oh no, he's still down.
Yep.
So Nova Langzy, excuse me, down for the Orioles.
Hey, I'm gonna.
But Treadle,
Okay.
Yeah, that Treadle is a bad man.
4th touchdown of the game.
You know,
That was fun.
That doubles the Osseo Orioles on the scoreboard. Cougars now up 34-17, and like I said before, it's not breaking news. It's not rocket science here. I mean, you're up by 17, potentially 18 after the extra point, with 2 minutes and 17 seconds, to go. Yeah, this thing's all but done here today.
Yep, I agree. I've seen way too many people down on a knee today, though. This is it's not a good situation, but again, I guess realistically, when it really comes down to it, that just shows how hard-hitting and how athletic these Cougars are to, kind of daze these Oriole players here.
Yeah, punishing run game from the Cougars today. Early Koob, he made some nice throws early in the game, but when it was all said and done, the Cougars reverted back to their ground and pound style, and they haven't looked back, handing the rock off to Treadle and then getting Book into the mix in the second half. I mean,
Exactly.
just a beast.
I mean, as I said before, I was well aware of Mr. Book coming into this game, but up until the second half, yeah, we didn't really hear much of anything from him. And I'd be interested to see between Treadle and Book if they broke what they broke last year with those, I think it was around, I want to say 230 all-purpose yards between the two of them. Today, yeah, I imagine they're definitely in the, 300s for sure.
Oh,
I'm not a mathematician, but I'm a broadcaster. We do math, but I don't do math. So.
Well, the extra point is good. So we've established that the Cougars have an 18-point lead with just over 2 minutes left to go in the game. And as far as running the ball, I mean, when you've marched down the field for 5 scores in a game, I'm going to feel pretty confident in saying that the Cougars have likely totaled at least 200, probably 250 on the ground today. And you're probably very well correct. They're probably up above 300 yards. And if they are, it's going to make Coach Diggins very happy based on what we talked about before, him saying last week they broke the 300-yard mark, unable to get the victory. Well, today they came out, established the run game, and we're 2 minutes and 17 seconds away from officially saying that they've been able to come on the road and get back to 500.
Exactly. Couldn't have said any better myself.
Kickoff
Taylor.
fielded by Taylor. He's got a bit of a seam. He's going to cut, and he's going to wine and dine through the Cougars special teams up to the 40-yard line. So with 2:12 left to go in the game, the Orioles offense will hit the field, but they're down here by 3 scores. It doesn't, it would be one thing if they could march down, score, go for a 2-point conversion, and if they convert, get within that 8-point mark. But it's 3 scores no matter how you swing it, and with just over 2 minutes left to go, that's a tall task for any squad.
It really is. Unfortunately. And, I've seen some surprising things out of this Osseo team in the past, but I don't know.
Nice play there by Orel. He finds the starting tight end, Wendell Smith, for the Orioles. That's the first time we've called his name today. That was just a nice seam route right up the middle.
Yeah, I mean, almost coming up on the 2-minute mark here, but Osseo's putting some stuff together here.
Orell hits Harmon on a quick little slant. He'll get down to the 38-yard line of the Cougars. Clock will keep ticking. Orioles are in hurry-up mode. They can't waste much time here. They got to just get up under center, call some plays, quick hits.
Yeah, I say, did he hold that in? But no, just.
That would have been a heck of a catch by Julian Gavin on the far side. Nice defense there from Centennial. Jordan Zappa locking down on the far side of the field.
Stops the clock, 1:42 left here in the fourth quarter.
Gives the Orioles a little bit of time to call their next play. They'll come to the line. Orell will be under center again. He takes a snap, 3-step drop. He hoists it up to Harmon, and he makes the catch down inside the 5-yard line of the Centennial Cougars. Very nice back shoulder toss there from Orell. Down the field to Harmon. He gets out of bounds, so the clock stops with 1:37 to go. It'll be 1st and goal from the 5-yard line for the Orioles.
Wasn't the prettiest catch by Harmon, but doesn't have to be pretty because you see what it resulted in.
Hand off to Hughes, and he is just going to waltz right into the end zone. So, very quick drive. 38 seconds is all it takes for the Orioles to march down and score a touchdown. It appears, yep, they're going to kick the extra point here. There's no need to go for 2.
No.
Absolutely no need. You have to score 3 times. So, you score here. Next go round, if, and this is a big if, but if they get the ball back on an onside kick and then they march down, now you're going to go for 2 to pull within a field goal. But we'll see first here what happens on the extra point. High snap. Ball squirts away, and yep, you just got to fall on it there. That's a good heads-up play by Tyler Seelock. You don't need to try and pick it up. You just need to cover it up and move on. So now, with that missed opportunity, they're down by 12 points. The bummer for the Orioles now becomes your 3 scores have just turned into 2 touchdowns. No longer, your 3 scores have turned into 3 touchdowns, not 2 touchdowns, a couple 2-point conversions, and a field goal. So the field goal is now off the table.
Yep. Yeah, and unfortunately, speaking of field goal, I mean, the long snapper probably just had a little bit too much nerves going on there. I mean, yeah, the game's a little bit further away, but that was a pretty important extra point, like you said, because it kind of changes how you kind of game plan to try to come back here.
Well, we're definitely going to see another short kick from the Orioles. Not that comes as any surprise, as every kick today has been some sort of a squib or some sort of odd attempt at an onside kick, but definitely this time the Cougars are going to be sending out their hands team onto the field. You see Story is up front on the second line there. You're going to have some guys looking just to corral that football so that the Cougars can work on salting this one away. So the Orioles line up. A little trickery on there, but to no prevail. Big hole. Oh, no. Ball is loose, and the Orioles have it. Unconventional, not how they drew it up on the sidelines, but nonetheless, Johnson Falla comes away with the football after Alex Vacan fumbles it for the Cougars. And we got ourselves an interesting situation here with 1 minute and 28 seconds to go. The Orioles are going to start on their own 48-yard line, and the way they moved the ball down the field last go-round, Isaac, we could be in for an interesting ending here.
Absolutely. And on that kick, you just kind of see me shaking my head. Well, Osseo turned into something there. They got the ball there almost in their own territory to try to convert with another touchdown here. I've seen some interesting things from Osseo in the month of October, and team 1-4, look for a win on homecoming. They're trying to make this a little bit more interesting.
The key here is the Orioles, great field position. Errol, you got to get rid of the ball. He's got to get rid of the ball there. He takes the sack. Timeout And that was what I was just going to say before they snapped, is the Orioles had, until they just took that one, all 3 of their timeouts left. You would have liked to have saved those, though. Obviously, you know, all of this is being skeptical and what-if scenarios, but if they go down and score another touchdown in 40 seconds, now there's 50 seconds left, and even if you don't get the ball back, you can at least stop the clock with your 3 timeouts. Well, now they've lost that opportunity, and you forced yourself into scoring and getting another onside kick, or an unconventional onside kick, as we saw them pull off on the last go-round.
Exactly. I mean, some of these miscues that Osceo's had have come back to hurt them. I mean, in a scenario like this, you cannot let that happen. You know, to have to take a timeout in this situation, just not good, simply put.
No, the junior there, Orel, he's got to get rid of the ball. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. The pocket's collapsing, and you got to just throw it away. Find a receiver, throw it at his feet, or sail it over his head so you don't get hit with a grounding call. But we'll see if they can rebound here. Orel back in the shotgun. He's looking deep for Hughes. Ball bounces off the Centennial defense. That was Trey Driscoll. He was coming across the field there, unable to get his mitts on it. So the clock will stop here with 1:16 left, but the Orioles have a big 3rd down and 12. Obviously, they're going to go for it on 4th down. That's no secret to anybody. But in a situation like this, every yard counts, every second on the clock counts, and you got to come up with some positive plays here.
Absolutely. Dialed up the long ball again. We'll see if they go some type of post pattern.
Orel takes a shotgun snap, big time pressure. Hughes out of the backfield. He gets tripped up in the mass. So now that brings us to 4th down and 12. This is the game for the Orioles right here. They don't convert, and this thing is all but over.
Yep, 1:13 left. This quite literally is a game. You know, if they don't get this here, Centennial's just got to come out, run the ball a couple of times, let Osseo try to take those timeouts, run out the clock, and that's it.
Screen pass, and Hughes is going to be just wrapped up. Loss of a yard on the play, turnover on downs more importantly here, and the Orioles are going to take a somber walk back to the sidelines. The Cougars are going to come out, not going to be able to drop into victory formation at this point because the Orioles do still have 2 timeouts with 1:06 left. But you turn around, you hand the ball off, and force them to use their timeouts. And if you're able to pick up a 1st down, victory formation will be shortly thereafter.
Correct, and I'm not entirely sure what the play call was there for Osseo in terms of that. I mean, you know, yeah, it's simply put, I guess, unfortunate that it ended up like this for them. But
interesting here, the Cougars did line up in victory formation, and I suppose, you know what, gamesmanship here by Coach Stockhouse. You're down by 2 scores. There's 50 seconds left. No reason really to burn your 2 timeouts just to keep the game moving along. Right. So they will not use any timeouts, and the Cougars will let that play clock bleed, and Coop will come up to the line, take the snap here, kneel it down one more time, and I do believe that is going to do it.
You know, in a game like this, both teams are going to learn something. You know, you say a lot of cliche things in sports, but both of these teams really are going to learn a little something about themselves. And, you know, both teams kind of more or less took to their game plan, and things worked out a little bit better for Centennial. But, you know, they kind of went about it the way that they said that they would. A lot of running. Got Kipp there at quarterback, and he had a pretty solid game overall. Treadle in the second half book, they took care of things and ends up with being a victory for the Cougars.
Yeah, the final horn just sounded. Teams are already lined up. And the Cougars come away with a big conference road victory here at Osseo, 35-23. Coach Diggins said before the game it's going to be a ground and pound type of afternoon, and that definitely did not disappoint at all. We will be back here shortly on North Metro TV with a few of the victorious Cougars down on the field. Come back and join us.
Known for its vineyards and hilltop villages, Umbria is also known for its delicious tasting pizza. Made traditionally from the finest ingredients, Umbria Pizzeria will make you taste the difference, smell the love, and transport you to Italy.
La cena è pronta.
Dinner's ready.
You might even begin to feel like an Italian.
Delicioso.
Umbria Pizzeria, turning taste into memories.
Down on the field here with a few seniors of the Centennial Cougars victorious squad today. We're going to start here with Riley Treadle. Riley, you guys shredded up the defense today with the run game. What were you seeing in particular on the defensive side that allowed you to have such a great game?
Oh, I just saw the guards and the tackles and center Mike Generous just plowing huge holes and really clearing the way. And I always had only one guy to beat, and if I broke the tackle, it was an automatic 8-10 yard run. So, yeah, it was really good up front, and I got a really big push from those guys. So it's all credit to them.
Speaking of 8 to 10 yard runs, I don't think we called a negative run for you at all today. The one time where it looked like you may have had one was on that exchange late in the game. Ball kind of bobbled, maybe got a little excited there. But ultimately, what was key towards the end of the game for you guys to just bleed out that clock?
The key for us was just having two hands on the ball and really just pounding it and imposing our will. And when we line up on the ball, we knew we were better than them. We knew we were going to drive the ball. We knew we were going to drive them back, and we knew we were going to get in the end zone. We did.
Awesome. Well, Riley, great game today. It was a pleasure to watch. I'm going to move over here to Deontay Book. Deontay, didn't really call your name in the first half. You guys went into halftime. What did the coaches have to say to you about the second half plan that allowed you to come out and have such a nice second half?
They told me that they wanted me to perform this half because I haven't really had very good first half starts. So, yeah, I went out and performed the second half.
Well, I noticed from up in the booth, big kid, and, normally I would expect you to be plowing through the line, but it seemed like every time you touched the ball, the hole just opened wide for you. You were able to just scamper right through. How'd the touchdown feel this afternoon?
I felt pretty good. That was the first breakaway touchdown I've had. So the whole line, I gotta give credit to them because I've never ran through a hole that big.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear, and I'm glad those juniors are happy to hear a senior leader is as happy with their performance. So finally, let's move over to Luke Chul. Luke, you had some massive plays today, but the one I want to focus on the most is there was a punt return where Story ran by you, and you lit a kid up coming from behind. That was a nice hit. What was going through your mind when you made that play?
Me and Keish actually made eye contact. And I told him before in the game last week against Andover, he didn't take it, and I told him you got to take that. So I got you. So, he took it, and he just made a big play. So that's it.
That's awesome. So as a senior leader of this squad, you guys have 2 regular season games left, and then we're talking postseason. So how does a win like this, getting back to 500 on the season, how is that going to allow your team to build as we move towards the end of the year?
Well, we just came together this past week. We just got our stuff together, and we're just going to try to keep carrying that on into the playoffs and just have a strong, successful season and accomplish our goals.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. Great game today, guys. It was a pleasure watching you. So for all of us here at North Metro, and all of us, meaning just the 3 of us today, Preston behind the camera and my partner Isaac Rice, I'm Bobbie Ersland. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
There you go, Bobbie.